hello all. Welcome once again to Blaine's Escape Corner. Our little corner of the internet, we get together, we talk about things that help us escape. I am your host, Blaine, and today we are coming at you with 45 diggle bits of gain. Should be clean gain. We'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out today. We'll find out tonight. I did some testing with Anime Guy so that I could get his numbers and then compare them to mine, but we were not on a stream to YouTube. We were just in the recording room on Restream here. So time to actually listen to what I sound like here. So let's I'll hit these buttons, and then I need to change this. All right, we'll see how that goes. All right, 1 second. Let me let's listen to me real quick. Let's see how weird this is for me to do. On Restream here. So time to actually listen to what I sound like here. So let's I'll hit these buttons. Okay, I'm gonna turn my gain up, or my bass up a little bit. I need to change this. And this is gonna echo for a second, just because of what I'm looking at and doing here. We'll see how that goes. All right, 1 second. Let me let's listen to me real quick. Let's see how weird this is for me to do. I'll hit these buttons. Okay, I'm gonna turn my gain up, or my bass up a little bit. I need to change this. And this is gonna echo for a second, just because of what I'm looking at and doing here. We'll see how that goes. That's actually really weird, the way the audios stack. When I'm listening to me, and then I'm listening to me listen to me. Bit of fizz, like a freshly opened can of Doctor. Yes, there is currently a little bit of a goofball thing going where I'm only listening to a single channel, and one of these cables is unshielded, so that is going to get replaced shortly. It is basically a how would you say? It is working in a way, but I have some improvements I need to do. Basically, the Cloud Lifter's cool and all, but Cloud Lifter is 25 decibels of boost, which is okay if you're going to record it and publish it. So if I was recording audio, doing just the clean 25 with the Cloud Lifter works great, because everything should be about -12 when you're recording audio for like a podcast or for anything that's going to be produced into like a final video that's not streamed. And then when you live stream, you need that audio to be into the -6 range. You need it to be into the actual, like, I'm hitting. Oh, I'm playing with it a little bit. Actually, I'm like hitting 0, right? Like hitting 0 is the important part to do here, and I'm sure I'll keep tweaking it as I go. The reason I know that it's now working properly is if anybody remembers last time I had audio noise, and when I touched the cable, it went away. Now, when I touch the body of the microphone, it's very subtle, but I can hear a mosquito. That means it's clean going through. So, like, there's not a weird frequency that's coming out that's being canceled out by my body's frequency of my, like, your nervous system. The fact that my, like, subtle electronic signal coming off of my fingers is creating noise in the microphone tells me that I actually have a signal that is coming through clean and doesn't have any weird frequencies that are humming around. Sounds like a bee's nest. Wait, what sounds like a bee's nest? You hear a bee's nest? Hold on. My, like, your nervous system. The fact that my, like, all around. Sounds like a bee's nest. Wait, what sounds like a bee's nest? You hear a bee's nest? A bee's nest? Wait, what sounds like a bee's nest? You hear a bee's nest? Hold on. My like your nervous system. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. That thing you're hearing is the that's the unshielded part of the system that I was just telling you about. Oh, when I touch the mic. Okay. Okay. There is also the unshielded part of the system where it is basically picking up the frequency of like the fans in the computer that are sort of resonating into the new preamp that I have, and I need to get it on a separate circuit, and then also set it up on a get it on a separate circuit so that it won't have this sort of like thing. Also, like if I get a call, I set my phone next to this amp, it will pick it up on this amp. And so when you hear that like little, it sounds like a scurrying spider, but it's like it's pretty quiet, so I'm not like too concerned about it. But yeah, it'll. Maybe if I do a low cutoff. No, let's not do a low cutoff. Turn off the high Z. Turn on the high Z. I don't know. I'll have to figure out exactly what I'm going to do about it. I think most of it'll get fixed once I switch to a shielded cable and then get it on its own circuit loop. That'll fix that a little bit. But I think just the factor that I have audio that is hitting 0 through the mains, and when I want to record something, if I want to actually do a recording on the computer, I can take this, and it, instead of giving, because right now I'm giving 48 gain to the mic, I can go, and now I'm giving the mic what is that, 30 gain. So now I'm at 30 gain. Now I'm at 25 gain, and I can really get like a really low, super clean signal that'll be good for using with recording. So that is very exciting for me on this end of things, to have things that work, and things that work from stuff that I just had. I was like, this cloud preamp is not working. It's not doing what I need it to do. Oh, look, the Dynamite stick does 28 decibels of gain. Oh, the Dynamite has a DM2 that'll do up to 30 decibels of gain. And I was like, wait a minute. I have a preamp from back in the Frantic Chap days. I was reminded of it the other day when I was talking about how I've played PT on Frantic Chaps, and I was like, I have this thing. Can I make it work? Because it's got 2 channels that go in, a left and a right. So I'm only using the right channel because I think that forces it into mono. And then the outputs, though, little frustratingly, the outputs are 1/4-inch patch. So right now I just have 1 1/4-inch patch going out of the monitor into the monitor channel into the board. So I'm actually receiving a monitor channel, which is kind of funny. But it's working. And I think I'm mostly happy with what I'm hearing. Apart from that noise right there. That noise is a little bit little annoying. Maybe I can find something else to hide it or ground it with. Yeah, that seems to work. Hey! I found a use for the cloud lifter anyway. I just stuck it on top of the new pre. It seems to be doing an okay job. All right, we got Tanuki, and 3 liters later, we are coming up on the ending of this guy. So let's get pouring. Let's get talking. Kampai, everybody. Yummy in my tummy. Pulling up Annie list because I watched anime this time, and when I watch anime, I like to talk about what I think about the shows. You find, I don't know, I lost it there for a minute. Totally lost. Spring 2024. Going through the list. How many of these are there? Okay, yeah, we're caught up there. Bump. Bump. Hey, welcome fanside. How goes you day? Welcome to a new and improved audio clarity on the channel. We are finally competing in a good way. Welcome, Stranos.
So what shows are you dropping this season? What shows are you not watching? Which 3 shows do you have time for?
Yeah, that's a good one. That is an interesting question you have there, sir.
You've been watching have you been watching Spice and Wolf at all? Skip?
No, after the first episode I was like, wow, it's just like the OG.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'll come back.
Yeah, you've been watching Windbreaker, Loser Ranger, what else?
I'm actually behind on Loser Ranger, believe it or not.
And Loser Ranger is behind on itself.
It's given me time to catch up, okay? I think I'm on 5 with that one. Yeah, that
if you're
makes sense.
no, Loser Ranger should be on 5. I think they're
No. Mysterious Disappearances.
Yeah. That's pretty close.
I'm watching that one as well.
I think a new episode was today, right? Yeah. Or yesterday.
Banish, Newgate. Did I start a new? I feel like I started a new one. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I need to mark this one because I watched that a while ago.
Oh yeah, did you ever watch an episode of the new Newgate?
No, I've not watched an episode of the new Newgate. that has not occurred. Let's see. Let's do that. Probably that one, but I don't remember. So off the top of my head, it'll be here. All right. You'll never forgive golf for delay. I'll never forgive the golf. I gotta fix this. Hold on, it's not Mahjong Day. I love you, Richi City. Thanks for giving me my doodle.
No promotion. No free promotion.
Not today. I will tell you, though, I've been playing a lot of 3-player because I realized that I can get a lot of those...
big wins.
Not big wins. I did get a big win. I'm talking more those little stamp things, I think they're called. Like, just for being better than, like, 70% of other players, I get, like, 10 stamps every week or 20 stamps every week.
Yeah, it was 20 for the second tier.
So I'm trying to get my
you have to play both.
I'm trying to get my 3-player up to that level where I'll start getting just free points.
Oh, so you do have to play it every week, yeah.
I think you just have to play a game every week, though, don't you?
Yes, you only have to play one as long as you play well enough. I'm pretty sure the score is, like, reset. It's based on how you performed that week.
Gotcha. Okay. And then I think I do this. Whoop. There it is. There's my frame. I found it.
It's not lost to time.
It is not lost. I had to hold Alt and just drag. Golf was invented by a drunk Scotsman trying to whack weeds. What was the ball? Maybe it was a drunk Scotsman mad at his child's toy, and he just was like, hey, "Get this out of here!" And he like tried to knock it into a gopher hole so his kid couldn't get it. All right. I have finally watched the second episode of High Speed. After praising the first episode for setting up a realistic racing event in which there are rules that they follow and all this other stuff, and then we get into the second one, and we follow our main protagonist as she's racing, and it sort of goes back and forth between her cockpit actually hearing her thoughts and sort of like a, the more shonen-y side of things where it's like, this is the hero and we have to hear what they say and what they want to do and what they're thinking and their motivations, and we get some flashbacks for her being a ballerina and then not being able to do that anymore. So a lot of characterization that kind of pops up there. The racing itself, it's more real. It is more real, and I'll tell you why. It's suddenly more real. So at the end of this, she starts getting lapped, and she's convinced that there's people behind her. She's like, "Oh, there's someone behind me," and her AI is trying to like talk to her, and she's not really listening to it. So She keeps cutting it off like she's going to do something. And so the people who are in first lap her. And then as they're coming around the final corner, she uses her boost and cuts in front of them and hits the finish line. And then when they come across, they hit the checkered flag. And she said, she was like, "Oh, I have another lap. They were in first." And she has that realization. But then she gets a black flag and disqualified in her debut race.
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, that fucking sucks." And that's how I knew this is a real race, because real races have rules in their rule sets where you're like, "Why is that a rule?" Why is that a thing? Like, here's how blue flags work in F1 currently. If you are so slow that the person in first is about to lap you, you are shown a blue flag, and it is your job as the slow driver to stay out of the way. Like, you're told to get off the racing line so the person in first can race by and continue their race. Once you are lapped, and if you are fast enough, you are obliged, or like you are allowed to unlap yourself and try to not get lapped. But if you unlap yourself as a, like, let's say in some crazy world like this where somebody gets passed by somebody, they're a blue flag, they're going so slow the person in first lapped them, and then they are somehow able to unlap themselves and race around and get in front of them, they are then shown a blue flag again and have to allow that driver in the back to pass them again. It is one of the weirdest rules I think there is in the world. And I was like, it's such a weird thing that happens in actual racing. I'm like, why? I don't understand.
But if you ever get lapped, it's automatic loss. Is basically what it's saying.
Yeah, you unlapping yourself being an automatic loss. I hate that idea, but it makes more sense as a rule than if you unlap yourself and they catch up to your butt again, then you have to let them by again. Like, I think that's so stupid as a rule, and I think it's stupid to get DQ'd. But also, it's like, yeah, that does make more sense than like the rule we currently have in racing. So, I was like, man, I'm upset at this, but that means they found out how to make a sport. Like every sport has a rule where someone's like, I don't know why we have that rule, or I think that rule is dumb. And maybe you never come across that rule because it just doesn't happen in the sport very often. But I feel like every sport has a rule where you're like, why? Why? That dumb. Do you know any sport rules that you are unhappy with?
I usually think about esports kind of stuff. Most of it's I'm a little bit too detached from it though, because it's been so long since I actually followed Dota closely. So I don't know how much of these, and most of it is pretty small things like pauses in terms of allowing people to get back in to the match if they have like technical issues from outside an arena setting, like when they're not on LAN, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, Stu having technology issues, another unexpected development.
All right, I sent it on Discord. Yeah. One that comes to my mind is golf. In golf, you are disqualified if you hand somebody a ball that is not you or your caddy. So in high school during a golf tournament, a guy.
I think that's actually a fair rule.
Is it? Why?
Because they don't know who that person is, assumedly, and they might be handing you a trick ball, a ball that isn't legal.
All right, I'm about to tell you a story, and I hate you a little bit. Okay. So we're at Washington National, which is probably the second nicest golf course in Washington State. The first is easily the Newcastle Golf Course, which is funny because it was built on top of a dump. But the second is Washington National. There's all kinds of really good stuff that happens there. It's really, really nice. And we're out, and a guy hits a ball on this par 3 where there's a little pond next to it, and he absolutely shanks it. Goes right into the water, and he was like, God dang it. You know, he's like he's gotta go drop another ball, you know, but he's like out of balls, and he's like, dang it, like, what do I do? And I was like, oh, don't worry, here, you can just hit this one. And I just gave him a ball, he took the ball, and him and his guy were like, okay, yeah, sure. And he sets it down, he tees it up, and he whacks it, and the ball explodes because it was an exploding golf ball. It's basically a plastic shell full of chalk. So when you impact it with a club, powder goes everywhere, and it just covered the tee. It was hilarious. We're all laughing. He shook it and was like, feels weird, and I was like, yeah, it's like one of those like solid core kind of balls, like it's supposed to go farther. And like just beamed that thing, and it went everywhere. So we keep going, and we finish up our round. And as I'm coming up to the clubhouse, our coach is just laughing his ass off and shaking his head. And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Did you just give someone an exploding golf ball?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You're disqualified from this match." And so is he. And not because it was an exploding golf ball, but because you handed someone a ball and they used it in play.
Yeah.
Now go clean it up. So we had to go back and like collect all like the chalk chunks that we could and kind of like brush it so it would like go away. But yeah, not because I used an exploding golf ball and defaced one of the nicest courses in Washington, but because I handed a guy a ball did I get DQ'd from going into the state finals.
Yeah, I would assume league regulations is the reason you can't do that is because they will vet the balls that people are carrying, like the golfer and their caddy.
Nah, they don't look at your balls.
Yeah, but they're gonna assume that.
That's why I didn't think it was weird. I was like, so if I had
they might not do it at that level, but I'm sure they do it at higher levels.
Potentially, yeah. But if I had handed him a normal ball and he had hit it, no one would have known. The only reason anybody knew is because the people coming in behind us were like, "What the hell is this?" Because it's just a white triangle coming out from the tee box, basically.
Yep. Everywhere. It went everywhere.
It's wild. I also got my I used to, because I was able to golf as a kid, because people are like, Blaine, you grew up poor, you guys couldn't pay bills, how are you golfing? Because pastors golf, okay? Mm-hmm. And when you go to your pastor and you're like, hey pastor, I would like to golf too, and they will have extra clubs and they will just take you golfing and teach you how to golf. And at school, you can get on the golf team where you get to go play golf for free because it's part of the school system. So, yes, I played free golf for 4 years, and it was amazing and it was great. And now anytime I go and pay greens fees, I'm like, ugh.
I guess I
hate that I love this game.
NFL rule. I believe, yeah, specifically for kickoffs. Whenever a team scores either like a field goal or a touchdown, it goes to kickoff. You kick off to the other team after you score.
Interesting.
If the ball goes out of bounds, it is automatically placed, I believe, at the 40 currently. There's going to be new kickoff rules this season.
Oh, but yeah, because they're kicking it all out of bounds every time, aren't they?
They kick it out of the end zone. The end zone forces touchback, puts it at 20. But if it goes out of bounds, either left or right of the field instead of the end zone, that causes it to come up to, I believe, the 40. Could be a 35. I don't remember. People don't usually kick it out of bounds. But if you kick it close and the kick returner goes out of bounds themselves and touches the ball, either grabs it or just touches the ball while they are out of bounds, it counts as an out of bounds kick.
Oh, that is weird.
Yeah. It's not on the returner's responsibility. If they manage to get the ball and be out of bounds, they can't be in bounds and then touch it. I believe if, like, say the ball just kind of rolls down to the end zone right in front of it, like on like between like 5-yard line or whatever, it's like way down there, but it's just sitting there and nobody's touched it yet. You can go out of bounds after it's landed and then touch it, and it'll still count. And
yeah, because I think I've seen that. But
yeah, that is a weird
touch it
rule
while being out of bounds. Huh?
Yeah,
goofy.
Yeah, it's just like a weird rule specifically for kickoffs because of the way that rule works.
Anyway, I continue to recommend nobody who is interested in seeing an interesting anime story watch High Speed Etoile. Only watch if you are a racing junkie who wants to see it done with these cool CG future cars. Mysterious disappearances, or according to the internet, how they deleted Mommy Milkers and stole it from the manga readers. I still like it. I think it's a little it feels a little contrived that Sumireko now just has like um body age size powers without any sort of negative setback. I feel like they need to introduce some sort of negative or some sort of deterrent to the fact that she can just be child size or adult size again. I like the idea that that's like the reason that she can join them, because obviously these two kids have like some sort of freak mutant power from the other side. But I would like some sort of handle on it, because she went from like my brain is bursting out my eyes and my entire face is bleeding to now I can just do it whenever I want. I don't know. What do you
Yeah,
think that's
this
like
what Stu
earned, or do you think
deserves.
it's
I think this is what Stu deserves for upgrading to Windows 11. But in terms of the anime, I haven't I haven't really thought about it too much. It's more just like, okay, I guess that's the way it is now.
yeah.
I don't
It
really.
really is
Yeah,
just the way it is
it
now.
really
And
is. Yeah.
but again, I kind of I wish it was still a curse, like she couldn't control how long it lasts, or it had a timer on it or something.
Oh well,
Um,
she could control how long it lasts before she just has to say the phrase and then she
right. I'm
transforms.
I'm saying now that it's like her superpower, that like there was something weird about it that would lead us to being like, oh, she can use it, but it might not work.
I was correct.
We got we got updates on all our computers today too.
Yeah,
I
I got it on
not
Windows
Windows 11 update. I
10,
always
and
skip that. Yeah.
fine. I have had no issues.
Um. Overall, though, I'm still a fan of the show. I like the unexplained bits. I can easily see the etchy bits and where they would have gone. Um. I don't know. Overall, I think this will be a fun
Yeah,
watch.
episode 6 came out today. I didn't watch episode 6 yet.
I have not either. I am only
Yeah.
on 5, I believe.
Yeah, the one I watched today was Konosuba. I didn't watch anything else
Oh, you're
today.
about to spoil? Oh no, don't spoil for me. Yeah, the last one I watched is when this glasses thigh highs girl was like, "You're the evil red one," and that was like the end of it. And I was like, "Oh, I need to see
That
more," but there
episode
was
was
no
kind
more.
of straight. That was alright. I would say strange, but it was funny that she just like starts beating this child that she found because obviously it's you. Obviously, this random child I found on the street. Obviously, you did it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, who else would have done it, right?
Who else would have done it except
It's
for
raining and you're wearing red. Now you die.
she would have killed her too.
It's like that. Do you ever hear the old hitchhiker? It was a creepypasta before creepypastas were a thing. It's sort of like the Hook-Handed Man, an old campfire story, where
You're asking if I heard of
a
that before.
yeah, a guy's driving down the road and he sees a girl who is wearing like an overcoat, and she looks like she's hurt and everything, and he like pulls over and lets her in the car, and she's like, "Oh, thank you. My um actually, this might have been a Twilight Zone. This might not have been a campfire story, but I heard it as a campfire story originally. So he's like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "Oh, my boyfriend raped me, and it was, I'm just trying to get away. I'm just trying to escape. I just got to get away." And so they're driving down the road, and there's another guy like walking on the side of the road, and she's like, "That's him. That's him." Because she's been telling all these horrible things that this boyfriend has been doing to her, beating her, all the worst stuff you can imagine, right? And so the guy's like, "Well, you know what? It's like the '70s, and I'm gonna inflict some good old societal justice on this guy." He pulls over, grabs a tire iron out of his car trunk, because men have tire irons in their trunk, and goes and just beats the guy, basically to death. Doesn't kill him because he doesn't want to be a murderer, but he gets him like real close, and he throws it back in and starts driving. And he's like, "Yeah, don't worry. We're you're never gonna have to worry about that guy again. He's never gonna be able to hurt you." And they're driving down the road, and then she starts freaking out. She's like, "Oh no, it's him!" And she looks at the side of the road. There's another guy walking on the side of the road. She's like, "That's him. That's my boyfriend. He's walking." And then it ends, and that's the story. So, um,
I mean, stealing somebody else's story and just telling it like it's your own is a tale old as time.
that is a tale as old as time. Uh, anyway, I'm excited to catch up on the latest one of that one. Windbreakers has gone from the we're dudes protecting this town to there's another little machi on the other side of the train tracks that has a different gang whose entire thing is about strength and not about just being protectors of justice. And we're fighting them because there was a border dispute, and the five main guys sort of all pair up and they all pick their guy that they're going to fight against. And when I say five main boys, so like in this image, we have this guy, obviously main guy here with the scar on his eyebrow and the white hair. Black and white haired guy, obviously a main guy. Long black hair, also main guy. This one has an eye patch, that's a main guy. And then this one has spiky hair, another main guy. These are the five guys that are fighting. This blonde one right here was like,
Terrible.
we need a Zenitsu so that people can like, people who are weak can have someone to be like, that me. So
yeah, he individually made me hate episode 2.
Oh, that's funny. He's there literally just taking notes on what everybody's like powers are, and he's pretty funny actually throughout this whole thing, but he's not fighting anybody.
Can you just like make these people less whiny? Like seriously? Why do they have to be the most pathetic mewling little bitches?
Yeah, I don't know. There are people in real life though where I'm like, why are you always complaining? Like I don't understand.
I like you calling me out like that.
So they get into an auditorium where they're gonna have their one-on-ones, and the first one was a little bit of a letdown. I was like, oh, is this, who's gonna win, who's gonna lose? I'm just trying to like think like from a story progression. Do we want our good guys to all win because then it'll be more exciting, or it's like, yay, victory for the good guys, or do we have a couple of them lose? Like, what would I do if I were writing this? Like,
I would assume it would end 3-2. Like
that's what most would think, right? Like, you get one win, one loss, one win, one loss. But they make it pretty clear at the very beginning that the 4 fights leading up are just like, these are just fights because you guys are beefing. Like, you saw someone you didn't like the way their face was, and now you're gonna fight them. The only fight here that matters is the captain on captain fight. So everyone's just waiting for that one, more or less.
And the guy in front with the white hair is a senior, right?
Yeah, he is the leader of Bofordin, the school. He is the head windbreaker, and he is very happy-go-lucky. He likes to garden. He's very silly, and then he gets these little spurts where like everybody sees like a killer behind his eyes, but he's sort of that just anger sort of a thing. So I like the way that they've done his character so far. I'm excited to see him fight. We've seen him block some stuff when the other guy showed up, but we haven't seen him actually like go toe-to-toe with anybody. So I am actually excited for that fight based on the choreography and everything in the rest of this. Because our first fight was a big punch to the face of our guy, who then took the punch and just punched back harder and won in that punch. And it was like, oh, okay, I guess that guy's really strong, and we know he can take a hit, but why was that other guy so weak? Kind of strange. And then the next fight was a sort of weakling that we've sort of been seeing get teased against the guy with the eye patch. And guy with the eye patch is doing his best. Oh my gosh, what is that guy's name? Under Siege. Steven Seagal. He's doing his best Steven Seagal. And every time the whiny guy goes to hit him or punch him or do something, he's just giving him a quick flip, or he's throwing him. He's doing all the like the Aikido kind of stuff where you use your Tai Chi, you're using your enemies like speed against them and flipping them around. But then he starts like kind of hitting back, and you're like, oh, okay, so this guy can fight. But he is just kind of like toying and playing with this guy to like make fun of him, and you're like, damn, this guy is this guy's kind of a bastard. This is a fun fight. Don't get me wrong, but that guy is kind of a bastard. And then you get to spiky blonde guy fighting against someone that he knew as a kid, and that fight is the one that I did the little review on, because you're watching it, and there's this scene where they are just wham, wham, wham. Knee comes up into the gut, the punch in the face, the back of the head, and then it cuts to the audience, and the audience just has this stone face. Everybody's eyes are blacked out, and you're like, Yeah, that is me right now. It's good to know that all these guys who've sort of been cheering for these fights are also kind of like in awe of like the the fight going on, and then one of them it goes back to the fight. We're watching it, and like you just hear the audience, and they're like, "I am glad I'm not one of these guys." Like it's like, yeah, me too. Holy crap, they are just going at it. Very very good as far as fight choreography goes. There's enough here's what I mean by very good. There is enough real, here's a dude punching a dude and the guy getting that like kind of bruise on his face and then coming back with another punch, and like even when they block it they're getting like damaged, it mixed in with here's a punch from one guy and then the other guy does kind of a front flip heel kick, and it's like that's not really a move you would do in real life, because the second that you're, in mid flip, not looking at your opponent and in the air awkwardly, they're going to punch you in the kidneys and you're going down. So not a thing that you would really do if you're fighting someone. But when you're choreography, it's kind of fun to have this sort of like horizontal punch mixed with a big vertical sweeping kick. Like there's some cool shapes that you create with the movement of the fighters. So even though some of those moves aren't super realistic, they are very fun to watch. But overall, very, very well done. And getting set up at the end of the episode I finished, which I think was 6. Yeah, the end of episode 6, we're getting ready to watch the main guy, black, white hair, go up against the number 2, who is just sort of a passive douche nozzle on the other side. So,
is it better than Jujutsu Kaisen?
Is it better than Jujutsu Kaisen? It's similar-ish in that like the fighting just feels very much like someone actually knows how two people should fight, like just punching each other. Like when Jujutsu breaks down to just fists, I think he does really well with the choreography. But they haven't really done any of that thing where it really goes off model too much. It's stayed very, very tight to model. So if you prefer tight to model animation, I think you would like these fight scenes better than a Jujutsu Kaisen. But if you prefer like emotional sort of animation, then you would probably tend towards Jujutsu as far as being the better animated fights.
Yeah.
I personally like like that sort of off-model emotional bits. I think they work really well. But if they do that in Windbreaker, I think the whole thing breaks down and doesn't.
If that's not what they're.
Well.
That's not how they set it up so far. So
exactly.
It wouldn't make any sense if they. It wouldn't make any sense if they switch it now.
Yeah, maybe if you have like the very last fight, the last punch, it's sort of all the energy. They're on their last leg, so they sort of like go over the top with the animation on that for that little blip. Okay, but the rest of it, I think this show has been very grounded with its choreography, barring like I said, the ones where it's like you wouldn't do that, and also like when he jumps over the crowd to step on the guy's face, like that's goofy. But I can understand if someone like really just ran through a crowd and hit somebody, and then someone told that story. Maybe it was like he jumped through the crowd, and that turns into jumped over the crowd.
I thought the first episode was really nice.
Yeah. Overall, like it. All right. Chilling in another world with level 2 super cheap powers.
What episode are you on with this?
I'm on episode 6.
Okay.
What episode are you on?
Oh, I dropped this one.
Okay.
I just wondering if you caught up, because I know you haven't had time to watch all your stuff.
Yeah, no, I caught up on this one, and I caught up fast because the guy's overpowered and can fight people and do things, quickly just turned into Guy and the Fenrir. Her name's Riss when she's in the human world. Their love story as two people is adorable. It is really fun the way that they've set it up, and they're doing it
in the OP.
The rest of it does, like the whole like, oh, he's overpowered and he can kind of do whatever. For a while there, you kind of just forget because like the only reason you know he's overpowered is because the kingdom keeps coming and is like, hey, join us so that we can fight. And then the dark army starts coming over and is like, join us and fight with us. And he's like, no, I don't know you. I don't know why you're fighting. You kicked me out over there. I don't think you guys want to fight even at the Dark Realm. So no, I'm not going to help you fight. That's not what I want to do. And he's strong enough to not have to fight. That's like his whole deal. Fenrir
Also,
really,
yeah, Fenrir is a demon. He doesn't have a reason to just side with humans because.
yeah, and he also doesn't side with the demons either, which is
Yeah.
nice. And so you sort of forget about his whole OP levels thing, and these human night girls join the farm to like train under him, and they all have their own little quirks that are kind of funny. The hero that like the kingdom kept is a bastard who sucks, and then eventually they kick him out, and he tries to plot against them. But the in between all of this is just Riss and our main guy just being so funny, like because it starts out very much so where he's like, oh, we'll pretend to be husband and wife, and then they get to a point where he's like, before when I said we should pretend, I meant that. So now I'm going to ask you again, will you be my wife? And then like it's such a sweet everything that leads up to this moment, and you're like, this entire thing is just a romance between these two. And even though we have a quote unquote harem because there's other women in the building, they're never in like sexually compromised situations. They're just there to learn and train. They might as well be background characters.
This is not Cafe Terrace Goddess.
No, and Riss is like, this is my wolf pack. She's like, oh, I like you guys. You're all gonna be in my pack, and that's, I want to grow this family. And it's really cute the way that she acts like sort of their den mother. Like everything about it is really really fun and cute. And then Blondie. Okay, spoilers for anybody who really wants to watch this. But if it being a romance hasn't like made you say like, oh yeah, I'll watch it. Then you won't care, and I'm gonna spoil this for you anyway. This this thing right here with the halo and the closed eyes is a djinn, and Blondie, the guy that sucks as a hero, he releases the djinn, and the djinn's like, oh, what do you wish? And he's like, I wish that you would kill this guy because he's making me look like an idiot. And in order to fulfill wishes, she takes lives. So everyone in the kingdom gets these little sacrificial collars on them. Sort of is that a Berserk reference? Yes, it's basically a Berserk reference. He gets a wish and they all die. And so she puts the collars around everybody in the town, and then she goes off to kill him. And as she's about to slash him, Riss like jumps in the way and gets slashed and killed. And I was like, holy shit, she's the main girl. She can't be dead. And then she's dead. Like he goes to heal her, and the system is like, we can't heal her. This isn't gonna work. This wound is too bad. Heal won't do anything. He's like, do we have any other spells? System's like, no. And then the djinn uses like some crazy spell on him, but he like just dispels it. And then he goes just sicko mode, and not even spells, just starts beating the shit out of the djinn with his bare fist. And I was like, I thought this was like a genie, but like because his powers are all like infinite, he can just punch things that are not supposed to be able to be punched. And like she is bloody, beaten, like, and then he beats her some more and just keeps beating her. And then he gets because he gets hit by the djinn's powers, he gets a time rewind spell. So he's able to rewind time on Riss so that she does come back. And I was like, oh, okay, that's how she comes back. But he is like blind rage, just not even trying to kill the djinn, just trying to beat it until it's bloody pulp. Until Riss is like, no, you can't do that. As a Fenrir, I'm all about strength and power, which I think is great. But the thing I like about you is that you are sweet. I do like that about you, and I don't want you to lose that. And you're like, okay, now she brought him back. But yeah, it was a really good scene to see, like, because he hasn't done, like, the most OP thing he does is teleport, which is apparently like a really hard magic to do on your own, and
No, I think definitely the clear at the beginning is a lot bigger. Like he cleared the whole forest.
the purification spell.
I think that's bigger. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't
So
think I think there probably are other people who can teleport. I don't think there's anybody else who could do that.
so both spells require multiple people. So you
Yeah.
see the city use purification, and it takes like 30 mages, and they all basically pass out for the next 30 days. And then they do a teleportation with the city
Oh,
mages,
does it take more?
and it took like, it was probably 15 people, and they didn't pass out. So I think you're right that the purification is a harder spell to pull off. But for the most part, like he does that once and no one really sees it, but he teleports in front of people all the time, and they're all like, "Whoa!" But yeah, for the most part, like he kills like some dragons and some like lesser like the creatures that are sort of in the way that he does like in an OP way. Like he kills a bunch of psycho bears and then tames one, but like overall, you don't really see him being like this OP. I'm solving things with my power. It's just him making dragon shields and trying to sell them. But yeah, I overall, this went from being like, oh, this will be something that I might drop, but it might be kind of fun just to have on to watch, to me being like, I need to see the next episode, because her dying is a cliffhanger, and I was like, no, I need to know how she comes back, because I know she'll come back.
I'd imagine that even if he could punch the Jin, that it couldn't actually die, though. Yeah.
I don't know. The Jin seemed pretty scared about dying, and then because it's like a magical Jin, it's explained some things about his power and how he has the power to learn spells that are done to him. So the reason he learned time spells is because Jin knows time spells, and when the Jin hits him, then he learns time spells. So we sort of get a reason for his power, but also the idea that he has infinite stats is like that the infinite stats are higher than Jin's stats. So Jin might have died. New episode is out, so catch up.
Like, you just watched episode 6, right? That's episode 6.
I swear, yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched episode 6. Wasn't that?
That's the episode that came out last, like, a couple days ago.
Yeah, I watched it all yesterday. Oh, so, and then now we've got like a new big bad has been released that we're all excited for. And then Kaiju number 8. You know, I think I'm on. I think I'm caught up on this. I think I'm on 5. Continues to be fun. I don't understand what the thought process is with everybody who is like, oh, Blondie, should move up. I've yet to see her atone for damaging a K vehicle. So until that occurs, she'll remain where she is.
Yeah, but she's nice to him now.
No, you find out what happens. Wait, the last thing I saw was the new witch spirit being released, taking over the body of the big booba Greek lady, and then welcome, black-faced flawed man.
Are you in your car?
Oh, there you go.
No, I'm on my mobile phone. That's the only way I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
The mobile.
Mobile.
Alabama.
Is it the person at the bottom left? Is that what you're talking about? The Greek
Yeah, the
one?
bottom left.
Yeah.
She's sort of like just a courtesan to the hero, and she thinks if he'll be a hero again that she can ride his dick to victory. But
that makes
then
sense.
she gets taken over by this evil witch spirit, who then turns the hero into a chimera, and they fly off to go find the princess because she's looking for Filster over here. Is that not the latest episode? I thought that was the latest episode, Alex. Really strange that the firewall on Windows 11 doesn't like me.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, wouldn't it just be the browser? I don't know how it'd have a problem with a specific site.
I've got my firewall turned all the way off. I've got my VPN turned off, and
Yeah,
I
the VPN
still
shouldn't have
can't.
any effect.
I still can't join.
I got phone Alex
But
now,
I can
too.
join. I can join on my phone via Wi-Fi, so it's not the internet connection.
Right. Windows Defender firewall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you able to add it as a approved source?
I tried doing it. They don't make that easy. They should just be like, hey, can you whitelist a site?
Yeah.
And it
I
doesn't.
mean, the firewall shouldn't have anything to do with what sites you visit.
What are you talking about, Serranos? That's
It
literally what
should be. It
firewalls
should be
do.
usually the firewalls for programs.
No, firewalls block things, and you can
I mean,
block
usually
websites
they're
because
two separate
websites
ones, yeah.
are addresses.
Yes.
I guess usually it'll label them something different though, because I only ever see it talk about firewall whenever it talks about actual program I'm trying to run on the computer.
Serranos, are you being a boomer right now?
No,
Sure sounds like a
I've
boomer.
never seen the.
Do you need to get
yeah,
your nephew?
I've never
Do you need
seen
to-
Windows try to stop me from going to a site.
Do you need
It's
to get your nephew
Google will try to do
come
that.
on
Other
and fix your
web browsers
firewall
will.
understanding? Hey,
Yeah,
Sonny, can
I've
you come
never
over here
seen
and
it say
explain
that.
firewalls to me? My VCR clock keeps blinking 12 o'clock, too.
Welcome back, phone Alejandro.
Okay, what part you were talking about? You want to know if she died?
No.
No. I saw past that because past
Okay.
that is when they remarry, or when he's like, I want to marry
Okay.
you for real, and then they go
I
to get
wanted
it
to-
on.
All right, never mind. Because I thought you were talking about you. That was last week's episode.
Yeah, no.
But
That
you're
that was
caught
that was the moment where I was watching it, and I was like, for a show that I thought was going to be just a dumb show that I'm gonna put on in the background and enjoy because it's a silly OP pro tag. Her dying, I was like, I need to see the next episode. I need to see what happens next. And so in the next episode, I watched that where it ends with the new big bad coming to get him.
Yeah, do you have anything else you want to move? We're gonna move the Pink Ranger up.
No, I'm not moving Pink Ranger up yet. I haven't seen it.
No, weren't you on episode 5?
I guess not.
So
The only thing
she-
I've seen Pink Ranger do
for
is
sure
sit there
she
and
can.
eat.
Maybe you only watched episode 4 because I'm pretty sure
Maybe that's 4.
episode 5 was the one that was about her.
Okay, then I'm only on 4.
Yeah. Yeah, that was what was in the last one I watched. Let me see. Because yeah, episode 6 isn't out yet, so it had to have been episode 5.
Yeah, I'm only on 4, according to my anime list.
So basically, episode 5 is like our main character, is in a facility, and he meets her.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, where is... Oh, I got Kanata from High Speed. She exists as a person. Actually, she's pretty fun. I do like her character. The other girl though is annoying. Hikari.
We're gonna put her in F tier for no other reason than that.
No. Toa is a bit more annoying, but she isn't the worst. Let's see what else am I moving here. We are gonna add. Do I not have anyone else from
These other characters just
from
didn't show up.
Chillin'? I didn't add anybody else from Chillin'. Dang, there's like a whole troop of girls that I missed. Okay, well, the only one that's sort of waifu material is the buff tomboy. Because
That's
she
what I would
gardens. And she's also smart. So let me pull up.
Book smart hunk.
Not book smart. So they get attacked by dragons. So this one down here in the corner, the beefy one. They get attacked by dragons, and she's like, "Oh, I wish I could get the Dragon Slayer achievement because all the dragons are like running away because our main guy is like too powerful." And he's like, "Why not? Go ahead." And so she throws the hoe at one of the dragons, and then he like superpowers it, so it like flies through the dragon's neck, and then she gets the Dragon Slayer achievement, and she's all excited about it. And the rest of the girls were all just kind of like standing watching him be cool. So not only does she know how to farm, but she also is pretty proactive in like leveling herself up. And yeah, the night girl at the top here is kind of hilarious. She could literally marry the king of the demon army, but she won't for whatever reason. and the other two are kind of meh. Like they don't.
Is there a
really
reason
exist.
she'd want to marry the king of the demon army?
They don't seem bad. He's just a demon. That's all. But he's really into her. He thinks that she's like one of the only humans who can like kind of stand being around him, as like because his presence like makes people terrified. But the secret is that she's just so terrified that she doesn't move.
Hmm.
But also she did sort of yell at him at first, so it could be a little column A, little column B. Yeah, the Demon Lord is super chill. He's like, I'm the 8th or the 10th Demon Lord. I don't even know if we should still be fighting, but I can't let my people die. Like if we could just stop fighting, I would be happy. But they keep fighting us, and we can't let our people die. So we're going to fight back.
Yeah, it
until
sounds
that
like
happens.
war.
Yeah, yeah, basically. And we already know how much of a bastard the king of the kingdom is, so it's like, yeah, I kind of hate that guy.
So did he like say no to a peace treaty previously or something?
No, he's just a bastard. He's just always like,
When did they try asking though?
not in this generation that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
But like the princess is like, maybe we should go talk to the demons and see why we're fighting. And she's like, no, my daughter, we need to keep killing them. Like that's his MMO. So okay, so that was just additions. Did anybody move? Yukari had kind of a funny episode, but I don't think that moves her up at all. Alice might get some more movement in the next episode. Mina.
Yeah, I like Tao a lot. I'd probably move her up.
You like Tao? Okay.
Yeah, I like Tao a lot.
Mina's not bad. I'm trying to think if the whole like her
I mean,
smiling secretly is actually like a move up or no.
I mean, she still really has not done anything.
Yeah,
She's
she's just
barely
existed and been strong.
She's barely been present.
Demon Slayer is back. Okay, I will catch up on the Demon Slayer. And we'll get Whippy Sword and the 3 wives up there. So
Also, I actually like Zenitsu better than the other guy. And like, out of the one episode I saw in Windbreaker, because Zenitsu does do stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Doesn't he? Because I mean, this he actually kills some demons.
Yeah, but
Even
he
if
only
it's
does it when
silly.
he falls asleep. Like,
Yeah, but he still does it. He's a bastard.
but
still.
is he doing it though? Like,
And it's literally still him.
his
Are
night.
you gonna go philosophical here?
Yeah, if you're not consciously doing something, I don't think you should get credit for it.
I mean, he consciously went to sleep though.
I think you unconsciously go to sleep.
He's conscious, entered in consciousness, unconsciousness.
Ren goes in
But,
the lolly tier.
You know, a lot of yes, a lot of people's conscious is their subconscious. That's making decisions for them that they don't themselves understand.
Oh, really trying to go philosophical with this one. I see.
It's so
I
dumb.
don't know. Is it dumb?
It
is dumb.
It's dumb in the show too.
Yes, it is.
It's really it's really kind of just. It's awful.
I don't think he's actually a positive for the series at all. No, but
But you do think he's
I
better than
prefer
the
him
other
over the other guy because well, you told me the other guys he doesn't even fight. He doesn't actually do anything there. He just takes notes.
Oh no!
I'm chatting with a
trying.
representative right now.
You're
Oh,
talking
nice.
with a Microsoft person. I'm sure they'll be able to help
You watched the episode 3 promo. Can't wait for it. Oh, I hope that's worthwhile.
Yeah, he's talking about Smiling Friends. Yeah, I didn't watch it because the episodes aren't very long anyway, so I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, gotcha. You're just
Episodes
gonna
are
wait.
11 minutes, so I don't need to watch 2.5 minutes of the episode already.
You're
I
just
can
waiting for
wait.
the end or whatever.
It comes out on Sundays. Yeah, I can just wait for that.
Just waiting for that. Just waiting for that.
I actually didn't think the episode 2. I like the episode 1 of the season quite a bit. I didn't think the episode 2 was as good as most of the other episodes of Smiling Friends, but I thought it was still funny. I had some good moments in it.
Oh, very nice. Are we all excited for old man fighting? With the Joe Biden finally saying he wants to debate.
I don't really care about debates too much. I mean, we'll get some good content out of it, I'm sure, but I don't need to
Will we
watch
though?
it.
I'm waiting for the memes, man.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
waiting for
always
those
something funny.
memes.
There's always like something stupid that shouldn't have been said.
Yep. That's what I'm hoping for.
Also, how much of a coincidence do you think it is if there is a dude who has 5 friends that were involved in minor affiliated cases?
I mean, the first 3, I think maybe you could argue the 4th are a bit of a coincidence, but you know, once you hit 5, I don't know, man.
So yeah, 4 of this dude's friends from the Smash scene were in a ring together, a child abuse ring.
What?
Yes.
Way worse than I thought it was going to be.
The other one is just an allegation of something, at least an allegation that does have pretty good evidence behind of wrongdoings with a minor. And the girl who's alleging this stuff was 16 with a 22-year-old.
Okay.
That's not good at all.
No,
and
that's
this
pretty
other
terrifying.
guy, the other guy that's been getting involved in the drama called Mizzy, put himself out there because he's like, why are these VTubers saying the N-word? You know? Because
Yeah.
Niguru is a Japanese word.
Oh.
He
That makes more sense.
used clips of that to be like,
Get on.
why are they saying it? Why are they saying it, man?
Can you add a Burger King hat to a VTuber avatar?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
I can even add a Burger King hat
You
to
could
me.
add, I mean, you could add anything you want to VTuber avatar, but one of the probably more damning things about that guy is the fact that he owes his ex-girlfriend like $6,000, or like, I don't remember if it's all of it is going to need to be paid or he is only missing 1,500 of that amount. But yeah, he owes money to his ex-girlfriend who made his VTuber avatar. And she made 40 toggles for him, and each individual toggle would be either a different face or a different like clothing item or something for the avatar. It's like that is a lot of art, and the fact that it costs $6,000 total is a lot. And yeah, he blocked her on all social media communications while still owing her money. So you know, not a good guy.
Who's this?
It's just some guy who got, like I said, he made a name for himself for accusing VTubers of being racist.
Are y'all following any of the new Assassin's Creed
Oh yeah,
going on?
Just enough.
I left a comment on one of the videos, although I realized that now that I don't think it launches to Steam. They put their games on Steam after like a year or whatever, Ubisoft. But I said that I'm going to buy it day one, leave a negative review, and then get a refund. I just want to let you know.
So what's
Just
the
FYI.
so do you have any insights into this? Blame
Yusuke?
from a Japanese historical thing.
I mean, the female ninja is actually not the worst part.
No, that's
no.
yeah the
that
the
could.
black samurai.
It
and
was
then
actually more common though for women to be samurai than it would have been for them to be actual ninjas, because the shinobi culture was very, very different. But as far as samurai go, like it just like sure maybe, but like we already know, like Japan was such an insulated specific culture that anyone who wasn't Japanese that ended up at the level of samurai was widely known about. So you have the William what's his ass, the Dutch guy from Neo,
Adams?
Tom
maybe.
Cruise?
No, not Tom Cruise.
Who's in that movie?
He is in that movie.
Yeah, I think it was William Adams.
But they're going into Wikipedia and
That's a
changing the guy's Wikipedia page.
Here's all of our foreign-born samurai. Definition. Here we go. So we got Hansong Joswang from South Korea, if that name didn't tip you off by listening to it. Joseon.
Yeah, that is the previous name of Korea. That's what it
Joseon.
used to be known as.
Oh, I see what that's saying.
Yeah, it's the previous Korean kingdom.
We've got a Spanish Netherlands guy named John Justin von Lodenstein. Why didn't they make a anime about this guy or a video game about him? William Adams, the English guy who came and the reason he actually ended up succeeding as a samurai was less because he was like really good as like a samurai or anything like that, and more because being a shipbuilder in England, he knew how to build ships, and Tokugawa did not know how to build ships, and so he was like, "Here's how you build ships," and he was like, "All right, thank you, I will give you a title."
Yeah.
Like,
People being granted the rank of samurai is a noble title.
No, it's like at work when they give you a title promotion, but they don't give you a monetary promotion. There's like, well,
I'm sure they actually did.
No, it comes with plenty.
Them. Yeah, I was gonna say
it comes with the ability to make money too. There's just just existing. Then we have Korean again with a bunch of unknown names. A Chinese from the Ming Dynasty, Sicilian. Interesting. Giuseppe Chara. I didn't know about that guy. He's a Jesuit. He's a Jesuit missionary turned samurai.
Oh, that was the guy's this is the guy's bodyguard. What was the guy's name?
The guy's name.
The Sicilian.
The Sicilian's name is Giuseppe Chiara.
All right. So apparently his bodyguard is the guy that they're saying is the Black Samurai.
Oh, interesting. He was given 10 servants and lived in Japan advising the shogunate on European affairs until his death in 1685. Was one of the inspirations for Silence by Martin Scorsese. And then we have a Prussian, Henry Schnell.
Henry Schnell.
Now, this is foreign-born samurai, so... what, Yasuke wasn't foreign-born? Is that what...
No, he was. He was never a samurai.
He never made it to samurai? He just pretend he was?
Yeah, he was just a black dude that ended up... I think he was a slave previously. He was a black dude who ended up in Japan and was there for less than 2 years.
Earliest African to appear in Japanese historical records, 1582. Louis Fra talked about him in some fragmented things. He arrived in Japan in service of the Italian Jesuit missionary Alessandro Valignano, visitor of missions in the Indies in India. The name Yasuke was given to him by Nobunaga. That's a person to give you a name. Real name is unknown. What he was called before that. Few details are known about him.
Do you want to know why that is? It's because he was a slave.
Yeah, I guess not having a lot of stuff known about you probably makes it easier for games and people to be like, we're gonna use this guy, and just do whatever we want because nobody else knows.
But I mean, the thing is, they would definitely know if he was a samurai. Like that would be very well known because that would be extremely weird.
It would be a big deal.
He would be on this list. There's a list of them.
He would definitely be on that list. There would definitely be more known about him.
Is that a Wikipedia page? Because they're editing everything apparently now.
The Wikipedia page is called List of Foreign-Born Samurai.
And he's not on it.
They haven't gotten there yet.
John Henry Schnell.
It is hilarious to me that they want to say a black man can be an assassin in Japan.
That would be like, that's why, like,
it's nighttime.
What is?
That's why it's called shadows.
The best thing to hide in the dark.
Yeah, that's why it's called shadows, because he hides at night. He doesn't hide in crowds. He just hides at night.
Oh my goodness. Real ninja wore blue.
Yeah, no.
Hey, it's a test.
Terrible.
Hello,
dark
test.
Blue?
Yes, dark blue, midnight blue, if you will.
And were you able to get into
bright
on your
blue,
computer?
sky blue,
ski blue. None of these theories are supported by firm historical evidence. Therefore, it is not possible to determine with certainty whether any of these works depict Yasuke. Human trafficking was rampant in the world at the time. It is not uncommon for Africans and other people from European colonial areas to come to Japan as followers and slaves of Jesuit missionaries and visitors.
Jesuits.
Nanban Byobu, painted by Kano Naizen, a painter, in the same period depicts dark-skinned followers holding parasols over Europeans. Other references to people appear to be African can be found in various records from parts of Japan and other periods, such as Toyotomi Hideyoshi rewarding Caffrey for their dancing.
Yeah, specifically the reason Yasuke was like known was because of Oda Nobunaga, and he kept him as I believe he gave him the rank of retainer or something.
He's a
but-
vassal, is what they would have called
Vassal.
it.
Yeah, basically he worked as a servant for him, or not really a servant, but that was his position.
He was given a short sword and a house.
Yeah.
And made to carry his tools.
I think they said he didn't really speak Japanese. I don't remember.
The black man understood a little Japanese. This is from the French guy. And Nobunaga never tired of talking with him. And because he was strong and could do a few tricks, Nobunaga took great pleasure in protecting him and had him roam around the city of Kyoto with an attendant. Some people in the town thought that Nobunaga might make him as Tono or a lord, but never got to that because Nobunaga,
He died very soon after.
died in a fire, if you will.
And also the reason nobody else had interest in black people in Japan, so nobody else took any of them into their vassalage.
And so why make this a thing if you're Ubisoft? I mean,
Because Ubisoft wants to pander.
yeah, but it's like, all right, we're in Japan. Let's pick somebody who's not from there.
Yeah, the one time we're gonna do this in Assassin's Creed game. The closest
really-
thing is
I
Bayek,
really
who
want
is a Nubian in Origins.
I really want
Egypt.
the Asian lobby to go like, oh, Ubisoft hates us.
Yeah, I think we should be shot into the high heavens. Make them regret doing this.
I only played the first and second Assassin's Creed games.
Same.
When did it stop being about the one guy's past? When did
The third.
Well,
That was
the
like-
first one really was the original guy, and then you had the guy. Oh wait,
no, it was the same. It was the
It's
same
the
present
guy,
day
it's just
character.
a
Yeah,
different ancestor.
Didn't
Yeah,
Desmond
exactly.
die in Game 3?
I don't
I-
know.
I don't
I'm pretty sure.
know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the out of history character Desmond. I'm pretty sure he just dies in 3.
It's
And they
I,
just
I
don't
feel like the
really
series
care
is
of.
so repetitive and it's so cringy and it's preachiness that why do people still buy it?
It's because it's the Ubisoft open world schlock. That's all it is now.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of a fun idea to look at assassins in various parts of the world. I think like the idea of this assassin cult having like similar tools but sort of like tweaked for the day or the period that they're actually in was like a fun idea, and I think you can do that going through like the different times and the different periods and all that other stuff. I think that Black Flag would probably be where I first noticed that it was like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem very assassin-y. What? Like,
Yeah.
you're an assassin but it's a pirate? Like, are you just a
Part
pirate now?
talk like a pirate.
Yeah,
man,
he is just a
Ubisoft,
pirate,
and
and
that's
he
when
can
they came
also
up with
kind
the
of.
idea.
He's a pirate that can climb things.
Yeah, because I mean, it would be kind of fun though if they went through like different countries and their because I feel like every country has had someone who's like, I'll pay you to kill that guy. And if they had just done that in like every country of the world, they could have literally been very culturally aware and found a bunch of ways that they could be like, oh, you've never heard of the Venezuelan they're not the Kukris. Who's the is that Nepal? I don't even know. There's so many cool like I know like the weapons that they use, but I don't know like anything about the people that used them. And it could have been a really fun way to
You
take
got it right
this.
the second time.
Was
He
it
hasn't played enough Age of Empires 2 yet.
Yeah,
That's
you got it
why.
right the second time. I was like,
the Gurkhas?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nepalese Gurkhas. Or would it be specific Gorkha Kingdom?
Gorkha. Yeah, so like there's all these different kingdoms and these places that have interesting histories that we could be learning about. In like I will grant you that eventually it becomes the repetitive same Ubisoft open world thing, but people like that and people want to do that, and it's a cool way to bring other things that people could learn about in front of them. So when you get to Japan, you do the Japan thing, not this one random black guy.
It's
Whereas
funny, they
like
actually want to do that because they do have a lot of learning. I guess I was gonna say tools, but there are different things they have where you just explore the world and it tells you about like this area that they're exploring.
yeah, like
Like
when you
the
do the
one for
sites or
Assassin's
something, right?
Creed
Like you
Odyssey, they have a specifically an educational like assistant mode.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you also have enough of England, like here's the game, right? Is the European American slave trade is ripe, and you set it in like whatever city or state country in Africa was like the primary hub for Western Europeans to get slaves from Africa, and you have your assassin be an African who's fighting against it, and the Templar are the guys that are trying, or the is it Illuminati or Templar? Templar, I think, right?
It's Templar. They got to
The,
go after the most base.
yeah, the Templar are the people that are trying to promote and do this because they're big bad guys, right? Like, how is that so hard? Guy who could be sold into slavery, breaks out, and is now fighting against slavery in Africa. Use African monuments. Do whatever you want there.
I'm
Like,
gonna have to tell you why they wouldn't do the African game like that.
because they'd have to show that black people also enslaved black people.
They'd have to show that it's mostly black people killing black people, yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be so good.
I just it's
It's just Grand Theft Auto.
I don't understand. Like real history and real things that occurred is so interesting to look at from the mentality of what were people thinking, what was driving them, what would make somebody do this in the world. That I find it so crazy that you can't just tell those stories because you have to be so dedicated to, well, we can't make these people look bad, or we can't make those people look bad, or we have to make this person look better than those person, and we can't, it's so frustrating because there's so much you could learn with actual history rather than trying to make everything look one way.
Yeah, pretty
Like,
much.
Like, wasn't there?
I just think it doesn't surprise me that this is the direction that they're going. It's just funny to me the efforts that they're going through, the hoops that they're going through to kind of justify it. Like I said, going into Wikipedia to try to edit the guy's wiki to make it sound like, yeah, everybody's always understood that this guy's been a samurai. They took out the context. It's never been backed up. And then they got called out on it and it got put back on there, I think.
Oh yeah, because it was back on there from here.
Yeah.
It looks like, but yeah, it's again, history is interesting enough and has enough lessons that we should look into and understand that we shouldn't have to keep trying to change it. Like, here's the easiest way. I'll give Ubisoft the biggest out they could have. Just make a character creator. Just make a character creator and include the big hue saturation wheel and let everybody be the own color they want.
You know
Right?
what's actually interesting? I think
That's too much freedom.
Yusuke, whatever. His character
You need
model
to
looks
be
pretty
who
nice
we
in the
want you to
trailer.
be.
It actually looks pretty good.
Well,
That
I mean,
actually-
I would hope it looks good.
Yeah, I it is a 3D model trailer, but I like their design they made for him. I think it looks cool.
But that's actually like a really good idea, Blaine, considering like the whole concept behind Assassin's Creed, how it started. It's like
You probably
this guy
shouldn't
gets,
know who they are, you know?
this guy should's like, oh, I'm living through this. Like, if you're trying to put yourself in the shoes of this character, why not have a character creator and be like, okay, this person looks just like me.
Yeah.
And then when they go through and they're like, oh yeah, So the avatar that they're going through whatever and like I said, I don't know how Assassin's Creed is now. I've only played the first 3.
Well, and at least with Japan, and you could just have this be a thing that the assassins do, is you do the old Deus Ex thing where it's like, hey, make your character. So you pick like your character's skin and your everything, and then you give your character a name and all that, and then you hit submit and you finish your character, and it's like, all right, cool, that's what your character looks like, but your code name is JC Denton. So like you get to name your character, but they give you a new name, and they're like, this is your name. So now your voice actors can all say whatever the heck name you want your character to be named, but you don't have to. So you don't have to double voice act or have to worry about like AI doing the name that you picked. But yeah, it's wild to me.
Stupid.
Yeah, no, he can't read the chat right now because he's on his phone. So they just did this with 40K, Stu. There were always female custodes.
Oh yeah, no, don't even get me started on that. There's always been female custodians, and so the joke, the meme behind that is, okay, so they've been there through all this lore. They've never been mentioned, which means they've never done anything worth mentioning.
Of course, there's been a female custodian. Who's gonna clean up? Who's gonna?
Yeah, there's female custodians.
Also, apparently, Games Workshop went back and nerfed the Custodes army. So it's like now they got women, and now they can't do anything anymore. Like they're no longer a powerful faction army that you can play on the tabletop. Now they're just kind of mid. And apparently, the rumor is that all of that has to do with Henry Cavill coming on board with Amazon, buying the rights for TV, and Amazon putting pressure on Games Workshop to make things more inclusive and diverse. Like Amazon's DEI is putting pressure on Games Workshop, which in my opinion never really needed much pressure to begin with, but just to say, hey, we want you to do these things to make it better. And now the rumor is Henry Cavill's thinking about backing out of the 40K project because of this. All rumor, but this is all just stuff that I've seen pop up as we go through all the autistic screeching over this nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just the thing I don't understand is there's so much, again, even beyond just like the history and everything, but there's so many people, there's so many interesting stories, there's so many interesting things that they've done, they've developed, they've created, ways that you can get involved or enjoy a thing, ways that you could homebrew things where nobody cares, you just do it. And it's like, why does it all, like, is the problem that we've lost creativity, that people can't picture themselves in these positions, and so they then have to make up the fact that their ancestors were in this position, or their like type was in this position? They're like, and I say type because I mean everything. I mean whether you were fat, skinny, strong, weak, all of this stuff, right? Is this the issue? That like people just can't picture themselves doing a thing that someone else did? Or
No, it's definitely not the issue, because this doesn't make money. This type of stuff doesn't make money. Like, it doesn't make them more money to be inclusive and depict peoples that weren't represented.
Right. So but then that would make sense for what I'm saying though is like what I'm saying wouldn't make you money. It would just be like, here's what you're trying to accomplish.
No, but like the idea is that the reason they would do this to be more inclusive, to appeal to more people, is because it would bring more audience. Like that's the we're doing this to
that would be the
wouldn't that be the pitch? Yeah.
That would be the idea as far as like why you would want to perform this. But the counter to that is that companies make so much money that they can just make decisions that they want based on some moral direction they want to move things in. I like when I brought Brandon in to have him talk so I could get some recordings so that I could tweak my audio. We started talking, and I was like, oh, we should just stream about this sometime. I pulled up EA's numbers, right? And I was like, look, here's how much money EA made last year, because everything's public because they're a traded company. They made $7.5 billion last year, and $5.5 billion of all of that was on live services, which they count as any subscriptions, any DLC. So
they have their EA Play subscription for both for their sports games, and then they also have the DLC or the microtransactions in the sports games.
Yeah, it was basically you had FIFA, Madden, their
The Ultimate Team.
Battle Royale. What is that? What is their
They're
Apex? Is it
I don't-
Apex?
yeah, EA's would be Apex because they
Okay.
own Titanfall.
So yeah, stuff from Apex, and then there were actually a couple games on there that I didn't think would be on that list because they had like big DLCs or something that came up. And it's like when your company based on games that people are just gonna play because people are just gonna play these sports games. That's just their life. That's what they do. When you make $5 billion, and at the end of it have still, I think they had a 1 billion profit after all of their expenses that then got diluted into shares and dividends and everything, and it was like, okay, that's a shit ton of money. You can just do the virtue signal thing because it doesn't matter how hard you virtue signal, you're still going to make DLC money on FIFA. Like it just doesn't go
these
away.
products are not at all impacted. Yeah.
So all of these companies have something that makes them an insane amount of money somewhere else that even if they do stupid shit like this is going to let them keep making money. I don't know about 40K Games Workshop, like what else they have.
That's
I've
it.
only
Just
I've
Oh
never been in the
if
shop.
Games Workshop actually pisses off their fan base too much, they just die.
yeah, that's a big thing for them.
No, Games Workshop is a company that could go kaput. EA, until people stop playing sports games, EA is going to exist forever.
Oh, and they just did a price increase on their miniatures too. So now everybody's like, okay, so now you've lost customers, so you have to
They're squeezing who they still have.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
And
So
everybody's just gonna run. And I think we talked about this on another point on when I was on stream here. But a lot of people are just gonna continue more people running to 3D printers so that they don't have to buy expensive stuff from Games Workshop, who's openly states they don't care. They don't care what you think. They don't care what your opinion is. They're going to do what they want. And then, some idiot over on their social media says everything's canon. And so now there's that meme. So at least even with all the anger, there's some laughs and memes to get out of it. But
okay, 2023 core revenue 450,000. I'm guessing these are thousands. They normally are.
That's a British. It's a British company, so it's probably gonna be
pounds. Yeah, pound. I'm guessing
sterling.
Pounds million actually. So 445 million pounds on core revenue, 25 million pounds on licensing. Brings us up to 470. Revenue at constant currency. That's a silly one. Core operating profit, 148 million.
That's a lot of money.
Licensing profit, 22 million. That makes sense because there's very little.
Yeah, the licensing is
expense to
basically
that.
pure profit because
Well, they've got a lot of
that's
mobile games now that are licensed with, and they've got some games on Steam. They've licensed a lot of video game stuff.
Their profit went up 20 million from 2022 to 2023. Earnings per share, of course, also went up in those two. So let's see. Chair's statement. Because this is where I started geeking out. Great company, privileged to work as a non-executive chair, having been appointed to the role in 2023. Reason they're great is run with principles, culture, values. Choose not to hedge against currency fluctuations, measuring our performance and reporting against both constant currency and actual exchange rates. That's smart. Financial outcomes are crucial for the long-term success of the company, enabling staff to be paid, rewarded, products, and intellectual property to be created. Understandably, society and investors have come to expect more from companies to reflect their responsibilities beyond profit. Culturally, doing the right thing does not allow us to simply say the right thing. We are reluctant to promise what we can't deliver. This should not be mistaken for lack of commitment, and we are developing the company's investor relations website to better articulate our position and give more visibility to some of the good work we are doing. Not everything has gone entirely to plan. We have made some mistakes, including a technical failure to file interim accounts proving we had sufficient reserves, which we did, prior to paying one of the dividend payments in November 2022. While embarrassing, acknowledgement of mistakes drives us to do better. Mark Lamb joined in April, blah, blah, blah. I like to thank people. Strategic report. Okay. Committed to continuous development of our IP, making the Warhammer hobby and our business even better. Strategy. The first element is that we make high quality miniatures. We understand that that what we make may not appeal to everyone, so to recruit and retain customers, we're absolutely focused on making our models the best in the world. In order to continue to do that forever and to deliver a decent return to our owners, we sell our miniatures for a price that represents the investment in their quality. So expensive plastic is number one.
Yeah, it's
Number
not
two-
even metal.
Number two is that we make fantasy miniatures based on our endless imaginary worlds. This gives us control over the imagery and styles we use and ownership of the IP. Aside from our core business, we are constantly looking to grow our licensing income from opportunities to use our IP in other markets. Third, customer focus. We aim to communicate in an open, fun way. Whoever and wherever our customers are and in whichever way they want to engage with Warhammer, we'll do our utmost to support them. 4, global nature of the business. Our customers can be found anywhere. They're painters, model builders, gamers, book lovers, much more. To reach them, we have 2 key tools in our retail chain. You ever been into the Games Workshop store? I went in once. I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it would be.
I've never been into a Games Workshop store. I've been into just hobby stores that sell Warhammer.
There was a Games Workshop in Factoria, which is a little tiny neighborhood next to Bellevue. And when I was a kid, we went in because I was like, oh, we should get a board game. We went in. I was like, oh, they don't have board games here.
Oh, it's a board game, all right. It's
I'm
just
bored
not,
watching it.
It's not chess. It's not Settlers of Catan.
Yeah, no, they did not have any Catan. 5th is being focused on cash. By delivering a good cash return every year, we can continue to innovate, surprise, and delight our loyal existing customers. And going back up to the numbers from 2023, they had a £155 million increase in cash before dividends are paid.
That's pretty good.
And they paid 415 pence, which I think is like a penny for a like 100 pence is £1, I think. So not a bad dividend actually. £4 per share.
Alex, can you fact check me? But I think Black Library, who does all the books, is owned by Games Workshop.
If it's not owned, then they're just getting money on that IP. But it would make sense given that it's called the Black Library that they own it.
Yeah.
But we do measure.
Well, it's actually based on lore. There's a place called the Black Library inside of the Webway that the Eldar use. Blah blah blah. And so that was their that was their reasoning for naming it that. But that's the publisher basically for all the books.
Gotcha. Warhammer setting, business model and structure, employing 300 people at their HQ in Nottingham. Wow, that is not a lot of people. Not a lot of people for what they do.
I'm sure there's not a lot of overhead. You don't need a whole lot, though.
Well, they have a good amount of overhead on all this because from 445, they're only walking away with 148.
Human resources overhead is what I'm saying.
Yeah, human resources is probably still their biggest because like 300 people is still a good number of people. Oh, thanks for the subscription, Toronto's Simple Life. Glad you're enjoying and you wanted to join. As I go through the dry analyticals of a company who apparently forgot everything about their history. But yeah, so they're coming down to the rough. I'm gonna say 30%. It's less than 30. It's like 25% profit off of their core revenue. So they're doing better than a lot of places, but it doesn't surprise me that's still pretty low. Plastic miniatures are branded as Citadel miniatures.
Yep.
Okay.
They
Customers
sell
love
the
personalizing, so they have the Citadel color paint range.
Yep, and they're expensive too.
Retail, trade, in our online store. Retail. Trades is third party under closely controlled terms and conditions. Nice.
Oh yeah,
Love control. Online, just via their web store. Licensing. We grant license to a number of carefully chosen partners with their IP, marketing. There's their structure. Performance indicators. Here we go. Monthly and year-to-date core business sales growth by channel. This measures the core business sales growth in each core monthly and a year-to-date basis. Smart. Don't do quarterly. You can't change fast enough if it's quarterly. Looking at their core gross margin. Depreciation of manufacturing equipment and the cost of our shipping our product to customer stores on a monthly and year-to-date basis. Okay, we'll see that on page 11. Year-to-date core operating profit percentage. Okay. I'll click that in a minute here. Share price dividend. So share price going up in 2021. It was really high. Came down in 2022, but it's bounced again in 2023. And they have an even bigger dividend actually in 2023 compared to the rest of these. It looks like
it might have to do with Amazon, like giving license or selling license to Amazon.
Well, yeah, maybe. Their IP was 22 million out, and their core was 440. So
they started getting a lot more. So it used to be very niche. It used to be a very niche hobby, and then like a lot of hobbies during COVID, it started to gain a lot of traction. It became even more popular when Henry Cavill, started putting more. Came that he plays. He's a fan. The book series is just wrapping up a huge bit this year with the Horus Heresy, which is basically a prequel to 40K book series. It's like 60 some books in the series, and they were just finishing it up this year. There's a lot of stuff going on now, and
right here is the reason that they are slowly going to just stop caring what anyone says online and just do what they want.
Yeah.
Warhammer Plus, our subscription service for Warhammer fans, is approaching its second year. In 2022, it had 105,000 users, and now it has 136. So a 30% increase in just the user base on their online thing. With 427,000 active users on their website. Now, does active mean they've made a purchase in the last 5 years or the last year? I don't know. To better track engagement, we have defined active user as someone who has engaged with us online in the last 6 months. Okay, so
that's pretty good.
This is a huge number of people that are interacting with them. I'm curious.
I'm wondering how they're quantifying that though.
So on my Warhammer, they have a login to get to their apps. And as of that year, they had 427 users on that website who have engaged online in the last 6 months. So the only question mark would be engaged. Someone who signed in and deleted their account, was that engaging? Or
I don't think
well, it's engaged.
They probably don't count that. They're probably talking about people who have an account that have logged in.
At least logged in is usually what I would think is going on there. Licensing business is growing. This is going to be huge for them. That licensing side of things.
Oh, they've been they've been licensing for a long time. Like Dawn of War came out in 2004, I think. They licensed to THQ. It was a huge hit. They've got like I said, they got a mobile platform now. I don't know who it's licensed to, but basically it's like they just license it and let the other guys do all the work, and they just pull in the royalties for it. So
half of their core revenue comes from the trade, which is those used venues. So are they charging fees for those places where people are doing trades and stuff?
Maybe.
I've never done that before. And I have like no familiarity with it, but when we were back up here in structure or strategy,
I just want to know how you and I get that many paying subscribers. Do we need to come out with a Flawed Man Plus subscription service or like Escape Corner Plus?
Yeah, we'll call it Escape Plus.
So
Yeah.
product are you giving them?
Plastic. I've got a 3D printer.
Salvation. Eternal
Can't-
salvation.
Stu, you
Hey.
can't put a price on that.
You sign up with me, you'll get a bauble. You sign up with Stu, you'll live forever.
Just $5 a month.
Trade achieved 15% growth in all key countries over the last, or 2022 to 2023. That's wild. Because there was
But
still
they
there
have
was
to make
still
sure they
pissed people
their
last
prices-
year.
Basically, Games Workshop had a massive COVID bump, and they are right in that.
Yeah.
I mean, bump though, but it was up and then down, and now it's back up. They did get a COVID bump, but then they got a 2022 fall, and then 2023 is coming back up. So like this will be an interesting year.
I think
to see.
the 2022 thing seems like an overcorrection from the lack of like free government money.
Well, it's a
Maybe.
fun. It's like Dungeons and Dragons. It's a very fun universe to get into. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of places you can put yourself. Like, there's a lot of factions that you can say, oh, I want to be this. And even within the human faction, there's like there's a ton of sub factions. And if you're going to be a Space Marine faction, there's 1,000 Space Marine
You
chapters.
can invent your own space,
And
Marine
you can
chapter.
even create your own Space Marine faction.
Yep.
And they've left gaps in the lore for stuff like you're making your own Space Marine faction.
Where does this get into the half year report? How would it be?
Yeah, their revenue from licensing is gonna grow in the future, but still, the massive core of their user base is the fact that they're selling like actual minis and stuff.
It's actually not even them selling it. It's literally them having a hand in the trade market.
I guess that'd matter a lot too. Yeah.
Whatever
they're
that
basically-
equates to is literally half of their primary
They're getting
income. So
fees on that.
200 million of their 450 million is coming from the.
And this
fact
is
that
in
they have
person, right? Not like some online thing they have.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, so let me find
Yeah.
that. No, don't make a bookmark. Damn
I
it.
forgot to get water when I was getting my burritos.
Remove it. Yeah, trade. We sell to third-party retailers under closely controlled terms and conditions. So this is them selling to your local, like card shop, basically. Hey, what's up, Pat S? How you doing again? I thought trade was literally customers trading, but they're putting trade in literal like other shops. So that actually makes a lot more sense in my brain now, is that their retail stores are not doing a ton of the sales, but when they sell to like your local board game store,
Yeah.
here you can sell this. That's what a big chunk of their income is. That makes more sense. Did you hear that clarification, Serranos?
No, I just got back in.
Trade isn't them doing like people's trades. Trade is them selling to your local game store.
Oh,
So
That would make a
that's
lot
why
more
it's
sense.
huge. Yeah.
okay. So trade is half of their sales are to stores.
Yeah. So half, which is even crazier when you think about it, because when they're selling to your local shop, they're selling it at a wholesale price, right?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. That's fun.
Hello, Pat.
Yeah, good old Pat S, the man behind the guy.
Or what the hell that means.
He is the producer of Brandon the Anime Guy.
So it's like his dad.
I don't think so.
Yes,
Pat S,
not.
you're not Brandon's dad, are you?
It's.
I'm gonna
I mean,
assume
there's only
no.
2 people involved with the production of a person.
Oh. I get it.
Yeah,
I'm not dad enough for the dad jokes yet.
you'll get there one day.
Yeah.
I believe you're forgetting the Holy Spirit.
I'm not talking about the Trinity. I'm talking about when a mommy and a daddy love each other very much.
We all know children are a gift from God. It has nothing to do with how much
Serranos,
semen you provide.
Have you had the talk with your parents yet? I figured this was more of a
When
Michael
a mommy and
issue.
daddy love each other very much, God
gives them a
grants
baby.
them the baby.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. I don't see any facts to dispute this.
They arrive via pelican.
Facts and logic.
Pelican case, more like it. That would be a funny reference someone did in a show. It's like, oh look, they're doing like an artificially inseminated baby, and it gets brought in like a pelican case. All right, what did you send me?
This is Naruto.
I was getting ready to say, it's like, what is this? Almost sound like Boondocks.
Actually, hold on. I'm gonna do this.
Very different thing.
Cause I keep getting hit on these stupid videos.
Because I'm going to be greater than any of them.
Nothing has changed. It's still the same
Naruto.
image.
The next Hokage! A ninja legend!
And he pointed his chopsticks at the other guy and was like, "I'm gonna be the ninja legend. It'd be me."
Believe it!
720 long ass episodes later.
And you all know Naruto Uzumaki.
Yeah,
That's
he
Naruto,
did it.
baby. That's Naruto.
He did it.
Can't beat the classics.
That's Naruto with no filler, baby.
No filler. We just fast forwarded everything.
That's basically just the story. That's how it works.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I haven't seen the end. Thanks for spoiling it, Serranos.
You had many years to do so.
I didn't because I wasn't into it.
I mean, whose fault was that?
Yours.
I haven't known you for years.
No, it's your fault for ruining it.
You preemptively ruined it by pre-existing. That's what I'm gonna pretend happened.
You're gonna do game development today. That's what you're gonna do.
I am. Today's a game dev day. Since I've got these new cool sounding keyboards, I'm gonna be a cool hacker man making.
Is it cool sounding or is it just sound like any other keyboard out there?
Did you not see my
It does not sound like any other keyboard. It sounds like brown switches. So
Yeah.
it sounds
Is
like
this going to be like where like the people who like sommeliers and whatever the thing is for craft beer or whatever? That's like, oh,
Here.
it's got notes of this in it.
No.
Oh, look at my keyboard. It's got
it has notes of flackiness into it, you know?
Yeah, no, there are distinctive sounds with mechanical keyboards. The red one that I had was a very silent sound, didn't really make a lot of noise. I've had blue ones in the back or in the past where every time you touch a key, it goes click and you're just like like if you ever watch a video and then the person like reaches down to type something and all you hear is him typing, like that's the blue keys. These are brown, so they make like a distinct sound, but they aren't like super loud and annoying. Here, I'll do some whacking for you.
Are you sure they're brown though, Blaine?
This is an inclusive stream. They are very brown.
Sounds like keyboard to me.
Well, then put your keyboard up to the mic and see what it sounds like.
Okay, hang on.
Acting like. See, very different.
Yeah, mine doesn't sound anywhere near as loud and obnoxious.
But you can't hear it when I've got the mic up.
I couldn't hear it before anyway, and now all I hear is typing.
That's
Well,
mine.
that's just Serranos typing.
It
away.
sounds like women. It's the sound of women.
You mean secretaries?
Yes.
Only the finest Yasuke switches.
Basically, you take the sound of mine and you double it, and that's a blue. You take it and you take mine and then you change the sound a little bit to make a different tone. That's a brown.
I love that.
Serranos is green for avocados.
Green
I like-
switches is Razor
like
actually
avocados.
does a green switch.
Or whatever whatever color chupacabra is.
Chupa chabras.
It depends on the lore. Depends on your lore master.
Everything is canon, Serranos. We just went over this.
Everything's canon.
Everything is canon.
Hold on. There was one of these keyboard comments was like, "God, would you just type on it?" Like, I was like, "Whoa, bro." All right, I guess I'll do like some keyboard ASMR shorts for this guy. I'll tag him in it. It was wild. I was like, I've never seen someone so passionate about listening to another man's fingers touch a.
No stream elements. I don't like the stream because I can't access it with my browser. I have to get on my fucking phone.
Well, you don't like restream.
I'm so mad right now.
I forgot I had that stream element still ticking away.
Now you know.
Want to discuss the new cheese video? Bro, can you believe that? Like, I knew government cheese was like a joke because like the government was like handing out cheese. But I had no idea that the entire cheese dairy cult of the government had its fingers in the Got Milk campaign. I thought Got Milk was like Dairy Farmers of America just trying to get you to like buy more milk, not the government being like, please, for the love of God, buy milk because we can't keep buying cheese.
There's no way because the commercials were too well done and funny.
Bro.
Government doesn't do anything that good.
Bruh.
Stop typing for a second so I can hear you.
No, hold on. I made everybody watch this on the day that I wasn't streaming.
The government is hiding billions of pounds of cheese in hidden caves underneath the United States that it is selling off by manipulating our advertising and education systems to our detriment in order to turn a profit.
What kind of mustache is that?
That's an Appalachia mustache.
Looks like Serrano's tried to grow a beard.
Put some respect on the goon.
Hair on his head.
Yeah, so
he definitely has more hair than I do.
It's like a better at growing hair version of you, Serranos.
If only you could be as popular as Wendigoon, the 3.64 million subscriber channel.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be cool.
So I think I've sent you a couple Wendigoon things, Stu, because I think it's really cool that he does these like interesting iceberg videos, or he'll talk about cryptids, or he's really into horror stuff. And then on one of his podcasts that he's on, where they talk about cults and conspiracies, they were doing like Waco, and the other guys like didn't know like what Branch Davidians, like what made them different, and so like he actually like shared the gospel to be like, here's what Christianity is, and then here's how they bastardized it. Because one of his first YouTube series were like Sunday school series. So his whole thing is really cool. But
he's highly recommended, and I know you've recommended him before. In fact, this actual episode was recommended to me by YouTube 14 hours ago.
It's wild how the decision to lift the cap on how much cheese the government could buy just steamrolled into this wild inability to figure out how to get out of it. Because as soon as they started buying an unlimited amount of cheese, was it under Reagan, they couldn't stop buying cheese because if they did. Because if they did, it would crash the cheese market, because all the dairy farms were like, oh, we're just going to produce all the cheese we want because the government will buy all our cheese and we'll just keep selling to the government.
I wonder what other agricultural product is subsidized to the point where we can't do anything about it, or else it's all going to collapse. Could it be
corn?
Yeah. I miss when we only cared about corn because it went in whiskey.
We may have made a mistake.
Oh my goodness. No, it's actually a problem. The amount of farmers, because corn is the only turns such a profit more than all those other things. Like there's almond farms that also
And also,
pretty
it
profitable.
will always turn a profit.
I mean,
Avocados, if you're worried
until they stop buying it.
But corn is like they're just like, okay, well, I'm not gonna make wheat, or I'm not gonna farm wheat anymore. I'm not gonna farm X produce. It's just
Yeah,
gonna
why
be
would
corn.
you bother?
And it's not going to things like animal feed to make maybe food prices go down. It goes to ethanol subsidies. It's all ethanol.
The corn must flow.
It really is.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, why is my engine breaking down after 100,000 miles? I don't know. Maybe because you fill it with corn.
If you've got an old Corvette ZR1 from like the 90s, it eats the seals in like hours.
Oof. Ugh.
Because Lotus, that motor was a GM Lotus specially engineered engine for that Corvette. And it had special seals apparently that don't react well to ethanol.
So if you're looking for ethanol-free gas, you can go to websites that look like your uncle who always tells you about fluoride
Look
in
one
the
up right
water.
now.
Your uncle who's like, I live on a well, so they don't put fluoride in my water. He made this website, and you can go to all of these websites.
That's how you know it works.
I can't believe this works so well. So we're in Blaine, Washington. We go to the Union 76 in Semiahmoo. And the secret in Washington is all of the Native American gas stations will be ethanol free. Other than this, you have to buy.
Drinking it.
Probably, yeah. They drink too much alcohol to bother. The only other way to get it is if you buy race fuel. You can usually get it ethanol free. Also, you can get ethanol free sometimes if you have farm equipment. You can order it for cheap, but you're only supposed to use it in farm equipment. So make sure you put it in your storage tanks.
And make sure nothing happens so nobody steals it.
Wait, you live in a place that's got the same name as you?
I do not. No, Blaine is the first bastion against Canada. Actually,
Doxed.
It is. If you head north, you can see the Blaine Peace Arch, which will remain peaceful for now. But if Canada ever pushes their luck, this is the place that they will mount a solid.
God
defense.
is going to destroy Canada before we ever get to it.
We're gonna send the battleships up from Bremerton to Blaine, and then we'll take them out. Nestle for a time did it in the 24 packs bottles. Wait, to deter the investigation when they recreated the flashbangs under the gas being explosive, they mysteriously made the course of I have no idea what's going on here. I don't know what I said that brought about the Nestle discussion.
All right, well,
Anyway.
I gotta go. Me and my brother were talking about the Assassin's Creed thing, and I was like, my buddy, he goes to Japan a lot. He seems to know some stuff. I'll ask him when I'm on stream with him tonight. And then I couldn't get on
part
the
of the
stream.
thing is, I was gonna say there isn't anything more to know about Yusuke because there just isn't anything known about him.
Yeah, he's not a samurai.
No.
Yep, not a samurai.
Not a samurai, and that's the general consensus.
And I mean, maybe make him not a samurai, but also it would be weird in a game called Assassin's Creed to have a guy who is super widely known and everybody can see him from 1,000 miles away because he was apparently like a 6-foot black man in Japan where everyone was 5 feet tall. Like, that bro will come in and destroy your town like an Oni, but he is no assassin. Like, that is not happening.
The one thing you could say for them is that's how they're not actually having him try to be stealthy. At least I'm 90% sure they're not gonna do that. They're gonna have it be an archetype where he's the bruiser and the chick is the stealth one. And
it's hella able to blend in. Doesn't stand out in the crowd at all.
The other thing that I don't get is why make him just some black guy when you could have had it be an Onimusha, one of the great female samurai who are like, oh, my husband died and we still have to be samurai for these people. I'm gonna grab my ass in Naginata and be a badass woman. Like China is like, oh look, Mulan,
China.
she became a fighter for family, and it's like, yeah, well, guess what? Japan was just like, yeah, your husband died, it's your turn.
China.
The thing that's weird about Assassin's Creed is they will have historical characters feature in the narrative, but I don't think anybody except for like Edward Norton was like a person. Actually, I think he might have been invented too in Black Flag, but I'm pretty sure the protagonists are all just invented people. I don't remember.
Ezio Auditore.
Yeah, I don't remember protagonists being like historical figures. I remember the people they associate with and meet being historical figures.
Yeah.
Let's
Like,
see.
So the
like
fact that they're
Richard
they're
the
saying this
Lionheart
guy
and
is
Saladin.
they're saying this guy is literally Yosuke is a deviation from their history as well.
And if you argue about it, you're literally Hitler.
Yeah. I
Yep,
agree.
it's Ezio is fictional. Confirmed.
I was more thinking about the ones after that. I know Ezio isn't real.
Everything
Oh.
is canon.
Because didn't they have the one that I thought was like, oh, that's actually kind of a fun idea was when they had an Indian was an assassin. I was like, oh, that'd be kind of fun, like just scalping people for the assassins.
Yeah, it wasn't as fun as I thought it would be.
Was it not? Oh,
I didn't like 3 at all, dude. I bounced hard on them.
That was 3. Okay.
Yeah,
the
that was
Indian
the Native
named
American.
Connor.
Yeah, he was half native.
What? Come on, make him full native. Boo.
Yeah, he was half native, and your dad is the villain.
Oh, good. Good.
Wait,
Great.
is this still Assassin's Creed?
That was
Yeah,
number
that was
3,
Assassin's
apparently.
Creed 3. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he was half Native American, and his dad was the villain.
Yeah.
Is this that hard for you to understand?
No.
I thought it would be a fun idea
I
because you're
just think
like,
it-
yeah,
they
I want to
went-
be like a.
You went a far way from, hey, the first character, the guy was in the Holy Land. And then in the second Assassin's Creed is the Ezio, trilogy? Because you have Assassin's
during like
Creed
Da Vinci
2,
or whatever.
Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and what was the other one? Weren't there 3 Ezio games?
Yeah, Brotherhood.
Assassin's Creed 2. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Well, but
Ezio
it-
wasn't in the first one.
There were 3 of them. Ezio was in 2, and then they basically remade 2 like 3 times.
Wow.
Have a good night, Pop.
Yeah, I'm gonna go along with him.
All right.
I
Have
gotta
a good
go
night.
bed. Y'all have a good time.
Finishing
maybe-
up Psalm. When did you say?
Maybe tomorrow.
Oh, I gotta tell you one more thing before you go, Stu. Assassin's Creed 4 character is Edward Kenway. His son is Haytham Kenway. And Haytham Kenway is the father of Connor in Assassin's Creed 3. That's the line. Goes
Great
assassin
names.
pirate guy to British Templar guy to Native American assassin guy.
This is-
Gotcha.
what part of history do we want to make an Assassin's Creed about? Let's do pirates. Let's do Italians. I mean, there's a way to do it really and get really in depth, but yeah, I feel like it's just lazy because they know people are going to buy it.
Yeah.
All right.
People will buy it. Have a good night.
You the same. Good night, chat. Maybe I'll be on a browser next time or not.
We'll figure it out.
Hate you, Restream.
Everybody hates Restream, but I'm telling you what, when I need to figure out how to audio balance against the anime guy, and I can hit the download split audio tracks button, and I can download everybody's individual audio track from any stream or any recording that I make, I'm like, hell yeah, this is nice. All right, turn-based combat.
Today we're going to combine everything we did in the previous videos And we're going to create a tab that lets us debug our camera.
Camera
or in
debug.
this case, we're simply gonna have a tab that contains a bunch of sliders that lets us adjust all the variables of our camera. But let's do this. Okay, so in Unreal, I'm going to go in the player and open my BP pawn.
A BP pound. Okay,
You know,
hold
what's
on.
really funny to me is the idea that they have all these controls set up that you can use, but you also have to make a controller to use them.
That is a very funny thing.
That is kind of funny. They have this as a functionality, but it's not like a default thing. It's just like you choose which ones you want because you might not want all of them.
Here you can see that I changed the code a little bit in between the videos, but I didn't change any of the logic. I simply took a bit of time to add a bunch of comments here and there, and also to align all the pins in a cleaner way. Okay, let's do this. So if I zoom right here,
All right, I'll trust you.
we can see that we add a bunch of hard-coded variables. Let's say speed for the zoom, speed for the location, and speed for the rotation.
The rotation. Oh, that's right. I only have moved speed and zoom desired. Do I have a zoom speed? Hold on. Where are you getting all of these from? Hold on. Why?
Zoom right here. We can see that we add a bunch of hard-coded variables. Let's say speed for the zoom, speed
Oh,
for the
they're
location,
hard-coded,
and speed
okay.
for the rotation.
Okay, I see what he's saying. So, you have... We have zoom, but it's hard-coded as a multiplier, right? So we can't really... We're not currently
But we're
able to
going to
change it.
change that. And we're going to create a bunch of variables for all of them. So on one side, it's going to be more clear what they represent, and it's also going to let us edit them in-game, which we can't do right now. So let's do this. I'm going to start from the bottom. So I'm going to right-click on the yaw of the rotation right there, and do a promote to variable, which I'm going to name rotation.
Okay, so I'm going to use the smooth zoom interpret speed. I'm going to promote to variable, and I'm going to call that zoom speed. And it's going to be a float for some reason. What's up, DJ Ronnie?
Hello.
Underscore speed. Then, since we are using the same value for the opposite rotation, we're simply going to copy this node right there. So we are going to use the same variable, and I'm going to invert it. So I'm going to search for minus, so float minus float, and I'm going to connect it like so. So 0 minus our speed to make it negative. Perfect. Let's go to the location. I'm going to go up here, right-click on the speed of the location, promote to variable that I'm gonna call location underscore speed. And then I'm going to copy paste it right here. And that's it for the location. Then we go.
Okay, so then is he only doing the interp speeds on these? Hold on.
Go to variable that 0 minus our speed to make it negative. Perfect. Let's go to the location. I'm going to go up here, right click on the speed of the location, promote to variable that.
Okay, so it's the multiplier on that. Oh, wait, I think I had to do these slightly different because I have the input actions. This is camera ortho width divided by 250. I have move speed as a speed already in a variable. Okay. But it's a vector. It's a vector 2D. Wait, why is it a vector 2D? Gosh, it's been too long since I've looked at all this stuff.
Yeah, it's easy to not remember stuff in it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, get camera. This is the zoom, not zoom speed. This is zoom. This is zoom smoothing speed. The actual zoom speed is up here. This is the one that I want to promote to a variable, and this one is going to be rename it to zoom speed. That makes more sense. Input action mapping. Set those things. Okay, got it. Smooth zoom. Get movement. location. Okay, so triggered set. So this camera target, I get the width of the camera, divide it by 250, and I multiply the vector times all of that. And then that is added to the location desired. I divided it by 250 because that gave me my distance. Okay, so then move camera here. Location desired gets plugged in there. Where do I get... We're multiplying the action value. Okay, so enhanced input actions here. Move camera up, axis 2D vector. So that just gives me the plus or minus, I believe. And then that is going to be attached to move speed, which is multiplied by... Why did I have to add this? That's the only thing I don't think I understand looking at this, is why I had to add the camera's ortho width divided by 250. I'm going to promote this to a variable 2. And then I'm going to call this ortho width divider. And I'm going to give it a default value of 250. Okay, perfect. I don't know why that exists there. Where else do I want? The interpolation speed here. Let's promote this one. And this will be... we'll rename this one to move camera.
Distance to shield generator is 17.28. What does that mean?
Distance to shield generator is 17... What?
That was what DJ Raji says. Like, I don't know what that means.
A 17.28. I mean, it's the distance. It's 17.28, but I don't know why it is.
Yeah.
All right. Are there any other? This is a multiplier of 0. Why does this exist? We interpolate over time. We return a value to the new location. Oh, wait. This converts a vector 2D into a vector target. Okay, I don't need to worry about that one. That one's easy enough. Zoom smoothing. I'm gonna rename this one into interp speed. And then the clamp for the camera zoom, we're going to do, I want to do right click, promote to variable. And that variable is going to be camera zoom min. And then the other one's going to be camera zoom max. Camera zoom max. Okay. So that makes sense to me. Then I can have a min and a max there. Zoom speed is there. Any other numbers that could be variables? Numbers that could be variables. I think that's it. Okay.
That I'm gonna call location underscore speed. And then I'm going to copy paste it right here. And that's it for the location. Then we go to the zoom. So for the zoom, same thing. Right click on the pin, promote to variable, zoom underscore speed. But here we also have the minimum and the maximum of our zoom that we also want to edit in-game. So let's promote them to variable. Right-click, promote to variable. Zoom underscore min. And the same, right-click, promote to variable, zoom underscore max.
Yep.
Perfect, that's it for the zoom. Let's go in the tick. So in the tick, we have the interp speed, so we're gonna do the same thing. Right-click, promote to variable, zoom underscore interp. Then we can go to the location, same thing, promote the variable, location underscore interp. And finally, the rotation. So right-click, promote the variable, rotation underscore interp.
Okay, cool. I think I
And
figured.
that's it. We now created a bunch of variables for all of our settings.
We did.
But now let's make sure we didn't lose any data. So let's compile and then select our variables. Then look on the right side. We still have the 45 for the
min.
rotation speed. Same thing for the location speed, so 20. 40 for the zoom, 100 for min, 5000 for max, the interp 255. That's it. So none of the data we entered is lost. We still have everything. Perfect. We can compile, save, and close this blueprint. Okay, so we're now going to do the same thing we did in.
I wonder if I need to make my movement speed. Let's see. If it's 2 and 2, what if I do set move speed? We split the struct, and then hold on for a sec. This result goes in there, and this will be 2 and 2, which is what our current move speed is. And then we'll do, we're going to do promote to variable move speed X, and we will promote to variable move speed Y. So now I have X and Y on 2 separate variables. Compile, make sure they are still 2 and 2. And then these go into that. So now my move speed's going to hang out there for a second. What is my warning? What are you telling me? Set was pruned because its exec pin is not connected. Okay. So I would need to go from, where does this go to? Let's just go straight over there, right? So this, set the move speed, and then leave this. So now let's compile again, and that's back in. We are good to go. So I'm gonna do this for now, and we will see. I think I'm gonna have to change potentially location desired, have to break it open as well, but I'm gonna hold off on that for right now because location desired. Oh no, location desired is 0, 0. So I don't think I'm gonna tweak location desired. I think move speed is X and Y.
In the last video, which is creating a new tab and linking it to our debug menu. So let's do this.
Oh my gosh, is someone baking something? It smells so good right now. Hold on, I need to send a message.
You need to check. You need to know what's going on.
Are you making, like... You always have to clarify, are you cooking? It smells really good. Because if you just say, like, are you cooking right now? They're like, oh, I burned it. Like, you can get misinterpreted real fast.
You just hear running.
No!
Did you get a message
yes.
back?
Hope it turns out okay. So do I.
Is that like Messenger?
It's Hangouts, or whatever the new name of Hangouts is. It's gonna be protein banana bread. Oh, that could be delicious, or it could suck. I'm gonna hope it's good.
So in the debug menu, in the tabs folder, I'm going to create a new tab. So user interface, widget blueprint.
New user interface, widget blueprint. Whoa, what was that? What?
Something not working for you?
Oh, I just suddenly got a lot of buzz coming out of this.
I didn't hear anything, so it wasn't over stream.
It's coming through the computer into the jack. I wonder if it's got maybe I've got power. I have to redo all these lines because there's a lot of power cords on top of audio. Balance that ask indeed. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, brother. Alright, so that's super annoying. You hear the buzz? Yeah, it's like
I definitely could hear the buzz after. Yeah.
it's like the computer like turned on a fan or something happened. It was just like, oh, we're just gonna send this audio through your computer now. That'll be cool for you, right?
which I'm gonna name tab_camera.
Tab camera, got it. And it happened the second I made that blueprint. My brain was like, it's gotta be the blueprint. It's gotta be what it is. And now when I talk a little bit, I kind of don't hear it, but then I hear it come like right back as soon as I'm done. I'm gonna turn it down for a minute until I need that guy again. You only hear ear sounds? Ear sounds?
It's like people going. Ear
And open it.
cleaning sounds.
But actually, before doing this widget, we're going to link it into the debug menu. So I can simply save it for now and go back to entry. And in debug menu, I'm going to open my debug menu. Perfect. Here, I'm going to link it to my second tab at the top right here. So I'm going to...
The debug menu or the... Yeah, okay.
to rename the tab text to camera. And I'm also
Camera? Camera?
going to rename the button to button_camera. And the text component to text_camera. Perfect. Then I have to replace the third
Okay.
child of my widget switcher right here. So I'm going to delete it. So delete my tab to text. And then I'm going to add my new widget. So I'm
So then I'm gonna delete the tab to text. And I'm gonna add my
going to
widget.
scroll all the way down in the user created and search for tab_camera that I'm going to add in my widget switcher. And it's now the third child of my widget switcher. So we have the empty text, the console comment tab, and then the tab camera. Perfect. Let's compile, save, and close.
Wait. I don't see that that's working. Maybe it is working. Okay. Tab camera.
This widget because we're not gonna need it anymore.
To
Okay,
tab-
now before we start working on the tabs, we're gonna have to create another widget because we're gonna do the same thing we did in the last video, but instead of having a
What are these called? Canvas panel. That's what I need to add. Really weird that Elgato keeps freaking out every time I like do something on that side. Canvas panel. Okay.
bunch of buttons stacked on top of each other, we're gonna have a bunch of sliders.
It's only when I
stacked
play
on
stuff
top of
too.
each
I
other.
wonder
And
if
they're all gonna be the same.
my Elgato 4K is starting to get old. Get this weird noise. It sounds like an old TV when you turn it on in my ear, like the whine of an old TV.
So we're going to create a widget that we're going to reuse a bunch of time instead of duplicating it. So let's do this. And I'm actually going to give you a little preview of what I want to do. So I'm going back to entry and I'm going to go back in the pawn. In here, if I select class default at the top, I can see at the top right corner all my variables right here. So we have the rotation speed, and everything. And right beside them, we have all the values and they are all sliders. So I can slide my values right here to change it. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So we are going to have a widget that contains all of our variables stacked on top of each other like this with sliders on the right. So let's do this. I'm going to close the pawn because I don't really need it. And I'm going to go in debug menu widget. Then I can create my new widget. So user interface, widget blueprint.
Oh, I'm making a widget to put in my widget. So debug menu widgets. User interface, widget blueprint, widget
which I'm going to name spinbox_with_name.
Spinbox with name? Okay, we call it. We can play your game foreign man. That's so weird. I have no concept for why clicking one thing would make that happen unless my Elgato stream thing is just starting to freak out.
Because the Spinbox component in Unreal doesn't come with a name, so we're gonna append the name too. Let's open that. In here I don't want to have a canvas panel, so I'm going to delete it and I'm going to look for an horizontal box instead. I can drop it in the viewport. Then I'm going to add a text for the name of my variable right here. And for the value, I want to use a spin.
And then you want a what? A verb? Oh, and then just a text box. And a text. Just a text block.
Box. So I'm going to look for spin box, right?
Okay, this is getting kind of annoying. Why Elgato 4K blinking when I hit play on YouTube?
Yeah, you definitely hear the bzzz
Yeah,
when
that one I know is
that's
going
your
on.
thing. Yeah, you hear
Yeah.
that more whenever.
Oh no, is my HDMI cable going out? Is that the problem?
Oh, is that
Flickering?
where you're the extra stuff from?
What? Oh, that would make a little bit of sense because when I hit play on a video and it starts sending a little more data, that occasionally the plug would be freaking out. Okay, I'll use a newer plug next time I'm streaming, and we'll see if that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
What am I dragging in here? I'm dragging in a spin box. Okay, all right. Spin box.
In the input category. Okay, now it looks a bit weird, so I'm going to drag the corner right there all the way to the top to have a nice horizontal line. And it's time to make it pretty.
Hold on. How do I? How do I drag it up? It won't let me drag it up. Size? Where's my transform? Transform. Translation. No, I don't want to translate it. I want to move it. Pivot. Scale? Oh, my XY scale. Okay. Nope, wrong one. This one will still be 1. This one's going to shrink. Is there something like specific he did to be able to edit in the widget window? Zoom to fit, switch, global none, screen size. Okay, no. Why?
Jamie Elgato's burned like a kitten over. I'm actually gonna be popping out here. I'm gonna be doing my own stuff.
Nice.
I will see you another day. Good night.
What's exciting for your stuff?
Right now I'm just playing U4, but I'm probably gonna do more writing when I get done with this session.
Very fun. Very fun. Have a wonderful evening.
See you.
See you. I want to do this. Oh, whoa. That shrank it completely. Is that really what my issue was? Is that it was like set funny there? I don't like that it expands beyond the wall there, but I also, how do I... Alright, let's go back and let's look at his mouse, see what he does.
It's right there in the input
Drags
category.
it.
Okay, now it looks a bit weird, so I'm going to drag the corner right there.
Oh, I dragged the wrong corner. Hold on. Just hold on. Hold on, everybody. I am the fool. I am the fool. This is the dragging corner. Now it looks like it. Now I understand. You discover that you're not part of an elite enough club? Yeah, it happens, man. Tried to joining one of the Discord VCs last week to see if I could hop on my Discord. If you can see a channel on my Discord, you should be able to join it, like the general channel. Are you allowed to see the Escapist channel? Yeah, I know my microphone's denied. Get out of here. Hang on. Permissions. Oh, there's 2 voice channels. Funny, I thought I had that set to where you couldn't view it if you weren't YouTube member, because it's the that's the YouTube members channel, I think. And I have view channel as not, so I find it strange that you'd be able to see it. Or are you talking about escape room? Maybe I didn't do that with escape room. Hold on. Permissions. No, permissions also says no to view. If you're allowed to view a room, you should be able to go into it. You can see general and escapist. If you can see escapist, you can get in because you're green. Why would... Hold on. You can totally get into escapist. You're green. You're a member. That's like the whole purpose of that channel. Hold on. Escapee, view, connect. Escapist, view, connect. Escapologist, view, connect. No, when people hop on my stream, they hop into Restream. I don't actually use Discord for that, as you can tell by the fact that mine is immediately doing a bunch of like super annoying beeping and stuff. Yeah, you're at the escapee level. You're labeled escapee in Discord. What do you mean that explains it? Oh, I think I see what you're saying. You're saying you jumped into a Discord voice chat to try to join the stream, but you weren't able to join the stream from Discord because the stream is all through Restream. Because people, some people I bring on stream don't like Discord, so rather than force everybody to just get Discord, it's easier just to send them a link that'll function here. That makes more sense. Yeah, no, not everybody has access to the Restream link. That is a very specific link. If you hunt for it, you can find it. It is out there, and I'm just kind of hoping that it doesn't become a problem that it is out there. But if it does, then I can refresh the code and then send the code to a limited number of people. Don't apologize. I'm all about the learning.
All the way to the top to have a nice horizontal line.
Yeah,
and it's time to make it pretty.
I can't. I loathe the day that I'm gonna have to update that link and then have to deal with all of the link doesn't work.
So let's select the text block and go in the top right corner. I'm going to start by adding a padding, so a padding of 2 to add a little bit of offset between the text and the edges.
Add a padding of 2.
And then I'm going to change the vertical alignment to make it centered, like so. Then I'm going to go down to the font and change the typeface to regular instead of bold. And I might
Did that center it? Oh, I need more pad. Okay.
Actually going to change the size
From regular to bold, we'll make it bold. Okay, buddy. Where do I find the bold at? Font. Bold. I'm already bold.
to 10 instead of 24.
Make it
And
tiny.
that's it for the text. So let's select the spin box and go in the top right corner. Change the padding to 2 also. And make the size to fill instead of auto. So it takes the whole space. But I don't want it to take the whole vertical space also, because if there's a ton of space like this, it's going to be a bit weird. So I'm going to change the vertical alignment to centered, like so. Perfect. Then to see how it looks, I'm going to add a value in the spin box. So let's say 5. And then if we want to see the slider, we have to change the minimum and maximum slider value, which are zeros by default. I'm going to keep them to 0 and then 10 for the maximum. So now we see the slider right in the middle, right here.
Perfect.
And we can now see that the slider by default is white and gray. But I'd like to have it like black and a darker shade of gray if possible. So let's do this. I'm going to go in the style, expand the style. For the background brush, so this is the background. So I'm going to change the tint to black all the way to the bottom. Perfect.
Okay.
Then I can collapse the background brush. And then since right now the spin box is not active, I'm going to expand the inactive fill brush. And I'm going to change the tint to a darker gray. So let's say this gray right here. Okay. And then I can collapse the inactive fill brush.
Okay.
In my case, I want to have the same colors if the background is hovered or not. So I'm going to copy the background brush and paste it on the hovered background brush. And I want the same thing for the fill brush. So I'm going to copy the inactive fill brush and paste it on the active fill brush, like so. So we have black, black, gray, gray. Perfect. Now we can't really see the text anymore, so we're gonna change that, which we can do by changing the foreground color. So let's select
foreground
it and
color, eh?
put it back to white. Perfect. And now the only thing we have to do is to edit that text that is on the spin box, which we can do by scrolling down and go in display and then expand the font. For the typeface, I'm also going to select regular and the
there it is, font. Display? Yeah, regular.
size 10. If the text doesn't update in the viewport, you can force it to update by compiling the widget, like so. And the last thing I want to do is to move the text right in the center of the spin box. So let's go right here in the justification, I can make it centered. And it doesn't update, so we can compile to make it update.
Mine updated.
So
Cool.
now the visual is done, we can take a bit of time to rename the component. So let's change the name of the spin box to spinbox_value and change the name of the text to text_name. And while we're at it, we can select the text and go in the top right corner and make it a variable because we're gonna need it later. Okay, good, let's compile and save. It's now time to do the logic of our spin box, which in our case only means to expose all the variables we need to access inside those components. So that
If you skip the end, I impersonate a messed up version of Mrs. Flu using your Mrs. Doubtfire voice. You can. If you hunt through the interwebs, you could always surprise me in the back rooms. Now, that being said, I do have a button that lets me add or remove you from the stream itself. But I will be able to see your camera in the background.
the text written on our text, and inside the spin box we have to access the value, the minimum and maximum value, the minimum and maximum slider value, and the min and maximum fractional digits, plus the always use delta snap toggle right here and the delta. So these are all the variables we're gonna expose in our spin box. So let's go to the graph. In here I'm going to do the exact same thing I did for the console comment button, so I'm going to use the pre-construct event, which means I'm going to delete the other ones. So we're gonna start with the text, so I'm going to get the text name on the left, drag it here, and do a set text on it to set the text. I'm going to connect it to the construct. Then for the variable, I'm going to right click on the input and promote it to a variable, which I'm going to name name. And that's it for the text. That was easy. Now it's time to do the spin box, which has a lot of variables. And the first ones we're gonna do is the minimum and maximum slider
Spin box.
values. So set min slider value and set max slider value. I'm going to connect them together and connect it to the set text. Then for both of them, I'm going to use the same variable because it's going to be clearer, I think. So I'm going to go on the left in the variables, I'm going to add a new variable and then name it min max underscore slider. And then I'm going to change the variable type from boolean to vector 2D. So I can.
Okay, so we're going to promote the variable, but oh wait, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. No. Delete that one. Actually, wait, I can use this one. I can make it a vector 2D. Vector 2D. Vector 2D. We're going to call this the min-max.
Can search for 2D and get the vector 2D right here. Perfect. Then I grab the variable, drop it on the graph. Then I can right click on the blue pin and click on split struct pin, like so. Then I can use the X for the minimum and the Y for the maximum. Perfect. Let's do something.
Easy. So the min goes here, the max goes here. So I should do that same thing. Should I do that? No, I'm not going to do that same thing with the other thing. Hey, what's up? Sleeping in the lazy boy? Classic dad move right there. Sleeping in the lazy boy. Good to see you. Good to see you, Brandon. Type half your names by hand. It sucks. Yeah, that is most annoying when it comes to tagging.
A little bit similar for the value. So I'm going to copy paste the spin box value right here. And I'm going to do a set min value and a set max value, which I'm going to connect.
Wait, what was this one? This is the spin box value. Okay, gotcha. So spin box value, set max value, and then min value. Do that same thing. We come from here up to here, here down to here.
Like so, and
this needs to be.
Then I need another vector 2D, so let's create a new vector 2D.
Slider.
Which I'm going to name min max underscore value.
Value min max.
And then grab it in the graph.
Get
the struct, connect the X to
split
the
it.
minimum and the Y to the maximum. Perfect. Then let's do the next variable. So I'm going to copy the spin box value again, paste it here, and do a set value. Set value. Connect it to the previous one, and then we're simply going to promote it to a variable. So right click on the new value, promote it to a variable, and name it value. Perfect. Then we're going to do the fractional digits. So let's copy the spin box, paste it here, do a set min frac digits, and set max frac digits, which I'm going to connect again. And here, even if they are not floats,
set min frac, set max frac. Okay. Connect it. Bring it around.
we're still gonna use a vector 2D because it makes more sense to me. So let's create a new variable, which is a vector 2D, which I'm gonna name min max fract digit.
Fract min max.
And then I can get it, split the pins, connect the X to the minimum, and connect the Y to the maximum. Unreal creates a conversion nodes for us. Perfect. Let's go to the next variable.
Truncate.
Let's go to the next variable. So I'm going to copy
What's the next variable?
value again, and I'm going to do a set delta snap, like so, connected to the previous one. Right click on the bool and promote to a variable, which I'm going to name it.
Hold on. Set delta snap. Oh, it always uses delta snap. Okay, cool. So connect it, promote it.
Always snap to delta. And it's time for the last one, so copy the spin box again and do a set delta and take that one. Connect it to the previous one. Right click on delta, promote the variable and name it delta. Perfect! And then we have to make all these variables editable in editor, so I'm going to go back on the left side and I'm going to open all these yellow eyes right there. So Open, open, open.
Okay, open all of them. Wait, why can't I click on those? Wait a minute, can he click on those? He did. He opened the eyes for those. Why would I not be allowed to? I can click this. Variable is not public, will not be edited. Okay, hold on. If I go on the designer, can I make it public? Is variable? Is there public down below? Is variable? Advanced? Say public? Huh.
Open, open. Perfect. Let's compile, save, and go back.
File, save. Can I open you? Variable is not field notify. Enable as broadcast changes. Advanced? Nope. I can't even check that. Can't check that. Category is not checkable. Why would that be? What would I need to be public? Because I'm going to set the name. That's internal. I'm going to set the min-max values and shit for the spin box. I think I'm fine. I think I'm okay leaving it like that. Have a good night. MC passed test in his first grade. I'm sure grandma will have another excuse to keep him home. Alright. Oh man, I'm getting such a weird audio sound. But I can fix it once I make my new cables. That's right, I make cables. I don't just buy cables, because you learn how to make cables when you can't buy new cables, and then you realize that it's so much cheaper to just make cables as an adult.
In the designer view. Here I'm going to go on the left and select my spin box. And I'm actually going to reduce the size of the widget again because it went back up. And then I'm going to zoom on it. Perfect. Here on the top right corner, I can change my variable. So for the name, I'm going to name it spin box. Then for the min-max slider, I'm going to use...
Oh, okay, hold on. So then, in the text name, change this to spinbox : wait, what? Text? Oh. Default value should be spinbox : designer. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we got that. We got that working. Okay.
0 and 10, I'd say. And then min-max value, same thing, 0 to 10.
Oh, here we go. This is all the default. So 0, 0, 10, 0, 10.
The default value will be 5, which updated the slider, so that's good. Then for the fractional digits, I'm going to use 0 and 0. I'm going to always snap to delta, and the delta is going to be 1. Perfect, we can now compile and save, and this widget is now ready to be used in our tab. Good. And it's now time to go use this widget in the tab camera. So let's go in there, and the first thing I'm going to do is delete the canvas panel. And I'm going to replace it with a vertical box. So vertical box in the canvas panel. Then I'm going to add all my sliders to it. So I'm going to scroll all the way down and grab a spin box with name right there. And I'm going to scale down the widget like so. Okay. So now we need as many sliders as we have the...
Scale down the widget.
a variable in our pawn. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 variables in the pawn right here. So we're gonna need 8 sliders. So I'm going to duplicate it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. And then I'm going to rename the components. So spinbox with name. Instead of that, I'm going to write spinbox with name underscore lock speed. Then I'm going to name it.
Hold on. I don't have that many variables. Where my BP pawn go? Oh, actually, I might. I might now that I look at this. Let's move this over here. Look at my big old variable list. Okay, tab camera. Rename. This first one's gonna be we'll start at the bottom. Move speed X. And let's give me some more room here so I can see these different names. We're gonna rename this one to move speed Y. We're gonna do rename this one to camera zoom. What is this one? Min. Sliders as the burgers? No, unfortunately not. Camera zoom max. We're going to rename this one is going to be move camera interp speed. This one's going to be ortho width divider, because I really don't know what that does. This one is going to be zoom speed, and then this one is going to be zoom smoothing interp speed.
Underscore lock interp, then underscore rot speed, rot interp, zoom speed, zoom interp, zoom min, and zoom max. Perfect. And we can now change the text of our sliders, but instead of typing lock speed, lock interp, rot interp, zoom speed, zoom interp, zoom max, zoom min, I'm simply going to add categories in between them. So I'm going to go all the way back up right here and drag a text in my vertical box, which I'm going to change it for location. Then I'm going to add another one in between the lock and the rot, and I'm going to write rotation. And finally a third one.
Okay. Text here is going to be move speed. Duplicates is Control D, right? Yeah, Control D. Then I'm going to do camera zoom min max. And then this one should be interps. And the interps are going to be the moving camera interp. And then I should move this one up here actually, and we'll Control D this one and move it back up, and we'll say zoom speed.
One that I'm going to place before the zoom and name it zoom. And right now they are a bit big, so I'm going to select all of them and go in the size and change it for 16, I say. Okay.
Okay. Ortho divider. Pick them all. And we'll make them all 16.
Good, we can now focus on the spin box. So for the first one, I'm going to name it speed. For the min and max slider, I'm going to write 10.
So the name is going to be move speed X.
And 50, I think.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. What is my... So let me try just chunking into this. So move speed X default value is 2. So value should be 2 and 0 to 10 5 times faster than it's currently going. Cable's really that cable's really cranky now. Crickets are cancer safe. Oh, nice. So then the second one is my... Oh, that's gonna drive me nuts until I can fix it. That's a little better. It's a little better, but it, you know, I get quiet when I do that. Y, and this one's gonna be the same thing. We're gonna set its default value to 2. And then this one is going to be camera zoom. Oh, camera zoom. Oh, I can just say camera zoom in the text. Hold on. Camera zoom. And then the text on these guys can just be min and max. So min camera zoom is 200. So set the value to 200. And the slider value needs to go out to 1,000. 1,000? Okay. And then the next one is going to be max. And this one's going to go out to, I think, I'll go out to 5,000 with the max. 5,000 with the max. And the value is going to be at 1,000. No, it's kind of wild to look at those. I guess... maybe 2,000 for each. Maybe 4,000. I can always come back and change these. I don't need to make these set now. They can get set later. Zoom speed. Zoom speed is a float. Its stock is 40. So let's do 0 to 100 on this. And then 40 is my default. Also, I just gotta say zoom speed. What should I call it? Just speed. And then these interps are camera move interp. And the camera move interp is 10. So we should probably go up to to 50 is the max for now. Set it to 10. Then the second one is zoom smoothing. Smoothing, and that one is currently 10. So again, I'm going to do... Are they both really 10? Hold on, my camera move 10 and my zoom smoothing is 10. Funny. Same deal. Put these both up to 50, and my default is currently at 10. And then my ortho divider is 250 for some reason. We'll set this to 1,000, 1,000, and 250. Okay. Compile save. All right, buddy. Now tell me how to make these
For the min-max
adjust
value, it doesn't
things.
really matter, so 0 and 1,000. For the current value, maybe 30, I think it was in the pound. Then
I'm on
for
a
the min-max
helicopter,
fractional
yeah.
digit, I'm gonna make 0, 0. I'm not gonna check always snap to delta, and the delta I'm gonna write 5. Then we can go to the next one, which I'm going to name interp. For this one, the slider is gonna be between 0 and 10. The min and max value doesn't really matter, so 0 and 1,000. For the current value, I think it's 5. Then the fractional digit, I'm gonna make 2. Then I'm going to uncheck the snap to delta, and for the delta, I'm going to write 0.1. And we can go to the next one. I'm going to name it speed.
Okay,
For
so
the
on
slider,
interps.
this one's going to be between 15 and 90. For the min-max value is going to be between 0 and 180. The current value is 45. The min and max fractional digit are going to be 0 and 0. I'm not going to snap to delta, but the delta is going to be 15. And we can go to the next one. For the name, it's going to be interp. The min and max
Interp.
slider are going to be 0 and 10. The min max value are going to be 0 and 100. The current value is 5. The fractional digit are 2 and 2. I'm not going to snap to delta, and the delta is going to be 0.1. And we can go to the next one. So for the zoom, it's going to be speed. Then the min max slider are going to be 0 and 200. The min max value are going to be 0 and 1,000, I think. Then the current value is 40. The min max digit are going to be 0 and 0. Always snap false, and the delta is going to be 5. And we can go to the next one. So interp.
You don't have your zoom.
Min max slider is going to be 0
Always
and
snap.
5 this time. The min max
Interesting.
value going to be 0 and 10. The min max value are going to be 0 and 100. The value is going to be
How do
2,
I make these
think, and
change
then the
things? That's
frac
the
digit's gonna
that's
be
the
2
real
and 2.
question.
We're not going to always snap to delta, and for the delta is going to be 0.1. And then we
Okay.
go to the next one. So
Yep.
I'm going to name it min.
Next.
In this one, the min max slider is going to be 0 and 5,000. The min max value is going to be 0 and 10,000. The value is going to be 100. The min max digit is going to be 0 and 0. Not always snap to delta, and the delta is going to be 50. And for the last one, I'm going to name it max. The min max slider are going to be 5,000 and 10,000. The min max value are going to be 0 and let's say 100,000. Doesn't really matter. The value is going to be 5,000 right now. And then for the fractional digit 0 and 0, not always snap, and the delta is 50.
Oh, this is a camera.
Okay, that's done. Let's compile and save. So we have all of our slider done. Finally, before doing the logic, we can go see how it looks in game. So go back in entry and press play.
Hold on one second. I gotta change this a little bit. I want the interp, the move camera interp to be in the move, and we'll change move to move, and then camera move will be interp. And then the this will be speed Y, speedy, and speedix. Okay, and then my zoom smoothing interp will be in with the zoom. Actually, these are all going to be in zoom. Hold on, why was I so dumb with this? Hold on. Who would do something so dumb? There we go. So I just got movement. My movement sped, actually. Movement sped. Dang it. And Then I've got my interp, and then I got my zoom, min max, the speed of my zoom, and my zoom smoothing. Oh, this is my interp. I need to change this to interp. Okay. Compile, save, play. Show me camera. Look at that. I can make the speeds change. Yay. Dials are selectable.
And now if I click on my camera tab, I can see all my sliders right here. They are a bit small and really weird, so we're gonna fix that before we jump onto the logic. So let's stop and go back in the tab camera. And to fix that, I'm simply going to use the same kind of expandable area we used in the tab console command. So let's go get it. I'm going to go back in entry, go in my debug menu tabs, and open tab console command. Here I'm going to select the root, so the border, and I'm going to copy it, so Control C. And then I go back in my tab camera, and before I paste, I'm going to make sure that I saved my changes, because Unreal doesn't always like it when you paste widgets, and it often crashes. So let's just save to be sure. And then select your vertical box and Control V to paste. Here we go, we now have the console command right there. So now the first thing to do is to remove everything we don't need, so I'm going to scroll all the way down on the left right here and select all my console command components and delete them. And then now that the vertical box is empty, I'm going to select all my new component right here, so all my...
So all of these get deleted, and then I can delete that vertical box too, probably. So I need to delete this vertical box, and then put this guy. Wait, undo. Can I move all of these items into that vertical box? I can.
New spin boxes, and I'm going to drag them into the vertical box. Here we go. Then I'm going to change the title text, so from console command to maybe variables. Like so. And I'm going to also change the expandable area, so expandable area underscore variables. Perfect. And then we still have an empty vertical box at the top of our hierarchy, so we can simply right click on it, replace with child. And now to see how it's gonna look in game, we can go in the top right corner, replace the fill screen by desired, which is better than what we had before. Let's compile and save and go see.
Okay. Camera is a little better. I need to, hold on, I need to fix this a little bit.
Go back in entry, press play, select the camera tab. Here we go, we now have all of our sliders. The max slider is at the top. Okay, let's bring it back down. But yeah, other than that, everything seems fine. We can scroll and everything. It's not pretty, everything is a bit too black right now, so we're gonna have to adjust it.
Everything's a bit too black. Careful there, buddy. Why does it have such a padding around it? It's kind of wild. Man, when I hit play, it really you can hear something in the computer that's like, I'm attacking now. Okay, expandable area padding. Oh, that's probably what it is. So the expandable area padding should probably be. What if I just make it 0? Or like 1, I guess. File saved. Does this look better? No, that doesn't really change that at all. There's like a padding above that, I think. If I'm reading this correct. This border. Do I need this border? Hold on, in my console commands, border is the first one. And then it's expandable area, that's 4 and 2. And the border has a 4-2 as well. Why would that look like that? But this looks like this. Oh, I think I know what this is. Okay, hold on. Go back to the not any of these. I need to go to the actual debug menu. Camera. And look at the yes, okay. So this thing has the padding on it. Okay. There we go. Compile, save. Now, interestingly, I wonder.
All that, but for now it's good enough, and we can go to the logic.
Did he add a min width to it or something? The expandable area. Style. Border. Transform. Here we go. Pivot. Can I scale the... Okay. What about variables? If I just add... If I just add spaces on variables, it'll probably work, right? Yep. Okay. But is this what I want? Do I want it to be like that, or do I want it to just be literally like give me a... Not even a scale. Can I just add...
Widgets, and it often crashes. So let's just save to be sure.
Let's see this
And then
again.
select your vertical box and Ctrl V to paste. Here we go. We now have the console command right there. So now the first thing to do is to remove everything we don't need. So I'm going to scroll all the way down on the left right here and select all my
Is there
console
a way to
command
make
components
these
and delete them. And then now that the vertical box is empty, I'm
bigger?
going to select all my new components right here. So all my new spin boxes.
Yep.
And I'm going to drag them into the vertical box. Here we go.
Okay.
Then I'm going to change the title text, so from console command to maybe variables. Like so. And I'm going to also change the
no, he
expandable
had a-
area. So
It's like set already somewhere. Okay, hold on. Can I set it in the... This. Have I seen Paranoia Agent yet, Alex? Scale pivot. Padding. Is there a width? No. Oh, maybe variables. I add padding to the back end of that. Hold on, where is... Oh, now that I want padding, I can't find it. Where's my... Paddington Bear doesn't exist. What are you talking about? Header? Header? Does header's got padding. Header padding right 20. That's not what I wanted. Make that 1 again. Text. Justification on that side, yep. Margin. Right margin, here we go. There we go, I found it. Found it, everybody. I got it, don't worry. I'll give it 100 margin. Save, compile, go to entry, hit play. Camera. Alright, cool, much better.
expandable area underscore variables. Perfect. And then we still have an empty vertical box at the top of our hierarchy, so we can simply right click. Better that was the top. Okay, let's bring it back down. But yeah, other than that, everything seems fine. We can scroll and everything. It's not pretty. Everything is a bit too black right now, so we're gonna have to adjust all that. But for now, it's good enough, and we can go to the logic. But first, let's go back in the tab camera, grab our spin box at the top and move it all the way to the bottom. So it's set the right. Okay, perfect. Compile, save. Okay, so for the logic, when the user changes any of these values right here, we want to feed them directly to the camera to affect its behavior in-game. So the first step will be to know when the user changed one of these values. And this is easy. We can simply use an event. So I can go on the right and scroll all the way to the bottom to find my event. Oh, I don't have one. And this is because this is a blueprint that I created myself.
I have an event.
So we need to also create our own event that will show up right here. So let's do this.
Oh,
let's
visibility
go back in the
change.
spin box.
Oh, that's
in
not
here
good.
I can select my spin box and go all the way to the bottom. Here I have all my events. So when the user changes this value, all these events will be called. And in our case, the event that we're interested in is the onValue changed. So
onValue
click on the plus right there, which creates the event. Now we have to find a way to feed that event to every places in the game that uses this spin box.
Right.
So all of these. And the way we do that is by using a callback, or the way it's called in Blueprint, an event dispatcher, right here on the left. So we have the event dispatchers. Let's create a new one. Then we have to name it, so onValue changed. And then we can take it and drag it into the graph. Here we have a new menu with a bunch of options. And in this case, we want to use the call. So let's click on call. And then we can connect it to our event. So now every time the user changes a value in the spin box, this event is called, which then call our callback, which can be used everywhere else. Okay, good. But it will also be useful to have access to the new value of the spin box right here. So let's feed it to the callback. To do that, we're gonna select the callback on the left and go in the inputs. And on the right, we can click on new parameters, which creates us a new variable. We can name it, so value.
Hold on. Inputs and the new value.
And we can change the variable type to a float. And we can see in the graph that the callback updated. Perfect. But if your node didn't update properly and the variable type or name are wrong, because it happens pretty often with callbacks, you can just right click on the node and click on refresh nodes.
Whoa, another
which should
subscriber
refresh the node.
wants to watch me
But
do
if
my
it
thing.
didn't work,
Thank you, Frank
what I would suggest is to
Carrasquillo.
compile the blueprint, delete that event, and go get it back on the left, and click on call again. And then reconnect everything. And finally, we have to connect the in value. So let's do that. Click compile, save. And we should now have access to that callback in all of our spin boxes. So let's go see. In our tab camera, if I select
Yay,
my first
on
spin
value
box
changed.
and go all the way to the bottom, now I have my onValue changed event right here.
Yep.
That I can implement. So let's do that. Click on plus. And now we have to do it for all the other ones. So go back in designer, select the second one, scroll all the way to the bottom, and implement the function. And again, next one, scroll plus. Again, next one, scroll plus. Again, next one, scroll plus. And again. And again. And the last one. Here we go.
Interesting.
We now have all the events we need. Perfect. Okay, it's now time to feed all this data to our camera. So the first step is to access it, which is actually not that difficult to do. So I'm just going to go back where we have our 3 events right here. And in this case, I'm going to delete the tick and the preconstruct, which is only called in-game when the widget is created. So when the widget is created in-game, we want to look into the world and find our pawn. And that's pretty easy to do. We just have to right-click and search for get player pawn. Enter. To use this function, we need to know the index of the player we are interested in. But in our case, the game is single player, so the index is always going to be 0. So
Okay.
that's good. So that means that here we have our pawn. Great. But we can't really use it that way. Because let's say if I want to access all the variable I created in the beginning of the video, so let's say the location speed, well, it doesn't exist. And this is because this pawn is a default pawn, and we have to cast it first. So
Okay.
let's just cast it. Cast to BP pawn. And then we can connect it to the construct. But I can already hear the question, what is a cast? And what does that do? Because
Yeah,
it's
what
a
does that
pretty
do?
frequent question when you're new at programming. So I'm going to try to explain it.
Oh
In
no, it's
short, a
10:30.
cast is simply asking Unreal if the object right here is of that type. So in our case, we're asking Unreal if the object we're giving it is a BP pawn. So Unreal, is this a BP pawn
Is this
or
a
not?
BP pawn?
And that's exactly what it does. If the success pin fires, it means that the object right here is a BP pawn, and otherwise the cast is gonna fail. So this pin's gonna fire.
Gotcha.
Let's think about it in another way. So let's just think that this function right here, instead of being get player pawn, is just...
Okay. I'm going to learn about cast another time because the buzzing in the back of my ears is driving me nuts. So, yay! Feel like we're really getting all the background stuff done. Nah, it'll be worth it. I can tell based on what he's like having me construct here that being able to adjust how my camera moves will be useful when we finally get to actual game play and doing it, to have that all preset in the background. But that'll be annoying. The successful pin fires, I think is what he said. So everybody, have a wonderful rest of your evening. I will catch you all tomorrow for our Mahjong Thursday. Hopefully there is a Thursday stream. That is correct, Alex Moore. I keep getting derailed on them Thursdays, so fingers crossed. Kampai, everybody.